Oh, that's right.
Blue moon. Blue moon.
Blue moon.
I don't even know what that is.
How you guys know about Blue Moon?
What's a
I
blue
don't.
moon?
I'm just
30?
going with the flow.
Friday, February, what was it?
16th,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wanted to make sure, give you another, chance flying by.
Yeah. That was a redemption, right? That was a redemption for him.
I'm Dino, Spock's behind the camera, and this is Behind the Brush podcast. We got today's guest representing House of Color, Munch,
Yes, sir.
and
Morning, guys.
Gilbert, my friend Gilbert here, and we're surprised to see all these cool striping paints. If you guys never use House of Color striping paints, I highly recommend them. They do not need a catalyst. You can use a catalyst if you're going to use them over clear, but they're great for underneath clear because you don't have to worry about the reaction that you do with the enamels. But you can also use them in so many other things, that are versatile as far as using them as just a simple base coat. If you want to use them through an airbrush, you can spray patterns with them. Great effects, cool stuff, and interchangeable with some of the other stuff that you guys got with House of Color.
Yep.
But to get back to it, give me the story of Munch, man. Where do you begin? And I'm not talking about back to the childhood.
Jersey, baby.
But I mean, as far as the paint career, what got you up in this, man?
Well,
How long is the podcast, right?
Yeah, right. I mean,
Yeah.
at 15, pretty much, with
15,
my uncles.
huh?
Yeah, my uncles always mechanics, auto body guys. My uncle had a shop in our town.
Cool.
And he looked at it as a way of, hey, maybe we can get him out. We used to always go to the, hang out, and why not, get into it. And at 17, 18 years old, I ended up getting into an actual shop. And, as basic help, hey, whatever you got to do, sweep the floors, sand panels for edging and stuff like that. And that's when I actually started getting into the paint, because
Just getting your fundamentals.
yeah, getting all the fundamentals. You got to start somewhere, no matter where you at, right?
Mm-hmm.
And dating now, 49 years old, been in the industry for many years. Was in restoration for many years, and just love it, man. I just love working with my hands and getting dirty. I look at it because if we're not dirty, we're not doing our job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. Look at my fingers already.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, and fortunate enough through the years to have met awesome people, and started off with one of my mentors, Joe Sopi, which is custom car builder, painter, and he just piqued my interest.
See, because that's not a name I'm familiar with, because we're on the West Coast here, so I'm assuming he's famous over there.
Yeah, on the East Coast, he's like our local legend, in the paint world, and he was coming out to the West Coast too. If I'm not mistaken, there's a book that Barris had put out, Chopping Tops, and there's a milk truck in it. That was his milk truck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that's kind of what fueled me, seeing his cars in our area, right? We didn't have many guys locally that was doing it, but we did have some badasses like Glenn Weisberger.
Yeah, dude, Glenn's a freaking legend, bro.
He's synonymous in Jersey, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. J.
Yep.
He's another guy.
Julian
I can
Drake.
keep going, man. And
Bert
Mr.
Quimby.
J, I love you, buddy. But Bert, man, Bert's literally 20 minutes from my house.
Dude, you're lucky, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
You're so lucky.
And you look at people like this, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
I would love to just be a little fly on the wall, seeing what their process is or stuff like that.
Dude, that's the one thing that I know as a custom painter. I always wanted to meet Larry Watson. That was the one guy I never got to meet. But the people that I have met have been great, dude.
Right.
Like East Coast Artie. Art Schilling.
Artie, man.
He led the way to getting me to know these guys. As far as the Jersey people, Jersey style, all that stuff. The Jersey style lettering. It's all racetrack stuff. It's and then you go back to that leads to Bill Carter, Steve Stanford and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, your influence over there, I'm seeing you breaking out, dude. Really great, dude. Really awesome work. Your wagon, I've seen that at Seaman. I was like, dude, this came out clean, dude.
It was so I did it kind of to pay homage to my family, but also to pay homage to the Cali boys and their lowrider culture in Jersey, right?
Okay.
If you look at it, if you think about the sense of it, right? Because I was always a fan of lowriding. Never forget, man, going down to the bodega on my bicycle, waiting for that Lowrider magazine to come out.
Yeah.
I got hooked, dude.
Mhm.
You know, and you know, not many people know, but like my cousin's husband at the time had Lethal Weapon in Jersey.
Really?
So that car was in our backyard.
Dude, no way.
Yeah. And
That's
I'll
wild.
never forget going into this little ass rinky garage, no electric, and I'm like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? And I was a little older by then, right?
That car was iconic.
Dude,
it
legend,
pretty much
legendary.
stood up the test. I think it compares to, it's like there's always a debate between that and the Vegas car, which one was the best lowrider of all time.
Yep.
You know, everybody thinks that, you know, their opinion is, and I kind of agree that it is Lethal Weapon, you know, but they're both great.
But it's a debate, right?
Yeah.
And to me, it's based on what tickles your fancy, right? What really makes you want to pick one or the other? Because it's hard to.
Well,
You know, they both have a class of their own. You know, they both do their own thing in the world of lowriding. They both had their oomph, right?
yeah.
Their highs, right? And still, I mean, I wouldn't dismiss any of those cars.
Not at all,
nowadays.
man. Not at
You know
all.
what I mean? If they were both 100% still here, they would still be relevant.
I still consider it, you know, in my opinion, Lethal Weapon it's the Jordan of lowriding.
See, to me, because it was one of the beginning, right?
Yeah.
It came out hard.
Yeah.
Hard, man. I mean, that to me, and having it, seeing it, feeling it, touching it, to me was just, that made me a fan of that.
Oh, definitely, bro. When you grow up with your icons and stuff, like, you know, then you get to see that. That's great, man.
You know?
So, like, you know, you do custom paint. You said you were into restoration. Obviously, that doesn't mean you just do custom paint. You also deal with metal, right?
Yeah, I love metal, man. I'm not the best welder, but I can get it done, right? Like, like I love doing all that. I do a little fabricating, you know.
Nice.
I like to dabble in everything. I've always said, you know, be good at what you do, right? But try to be good at more than what you do. Try to be proficient in the whole part of a car, right? Because if you can be proficient and you can take a car from nothing and build it into something, it's going to make you better in life, and you're going to understand why you have to take this step to get to the another.
That's a big thing in the custom paint scene. You get a lot of people out there that they're familiar with paint, but they're not familiar with the body work, and because of that, they get a lot of catastrophic failures.
Yep.
You know, things that happen, things that, you know, as far as waves are concerned and everything, and then, you know, it just leads to everything else.
Right. It's like a house with a foundation, right?
Exactly.
If the foundation ain't built right, guess what? That building's gonna collapse. Now, your metal ain't good. Listen, there's ways around that, right? Straighten the metal, get it as straight as you can. Then you work your body. You know, but if you don't work your body, and unfortunately, I had to do my first car almost 18 years ago now, 81 Monte Carlo. That car was what put my name in the East Coast for its body work.
For those of you guys aren't aware, the hardest color to paint is black. And the reason why is what?
Man, if that body ain't straight, it looks like the Atlantic Ocean. And I'm using that from the bottom of my heart, guys.
I was at a hurricane in Puerto Rico.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, bro. And you're running and there's nowhere to run because it's smacking you all the way across.
Oh, yeah. You see surfers on that
Yeah,
thing.
man.
You know, Ninja Turtles, Cowabunga.
And it was a tall task because I was still fresh, you know, like into getting deep into the mud work and the body work and the straightening. And I knew I could do it, you know, but when people doubt you, that's why I did black. Because without black showing how straight a car can be, you ain't showing nothing. Anybody can make a car hide with color or something else, right? But if you got, I mean, today, that 57 Chevy that I said, man, how beautiful was that? First thing he points out, except for that big old wave in the quarter, right? But it's true. You know, you see these Chip Vooses and all these guys, man, they're working their metal. And then they're coming in and they're using very minimal because they already got their metal nice. They're craftsmen.
It's amazing to see some of these guys. You know, you go to these builds and stuff, and you see SEMA, you know, builds and everything, you know, and then you got the Riddler Awards.
Right.
I mean, you got all these really high caliber builds, but when you see a car in bare metal and you see the, you know, I'm talking about bare metal, like everything's done on it, and it even has lead. There's no Bondo on there, nothing like that, because a lot of that's, you know, having a resurgence, a revival, you know, of the old techniques, you know, because people love to see that metal just worked out flawlessly to where it looks like it came stock. You know? So
I mean, to me, there's nothing better than seeing a car in bare metal, and you know they clear coat them because they're positive they made that shit straight, and you're going, damn, like, they really knocked it out the park, you know, like, and that's a true craftsman, man. If you can work that metal and use minimal body filler, you're right there, hands down to me. You're up here.
I mean,
you're up there, man.
I give it up to anybody that can do that and stuff because, like I said, you know, if you don't have that foundation, man, you can try to hide a lot of it, but it's like, man, it's like, why'd you go through all that hassle, just to work on a wavy subject, man? And
that's true, you know. And look, man, that thing will wave, smack you around all at once, right?
Yeah.
You walk by that car and you feel like you're getting hit. Yeah. Dang, what the hell's going on? You know, it's no knock on the guy. Yeah. But it's also, a lot of these guys are trying to rush through something to get to the final stage.
There you go, bro.
And listen, if that's the way you're gonna go about, it's gonna show in everything you do, even graphics. Look, if you don't sand and flow coat, you're gonna see every little wave, right? It's the same thing. It goes hand in hand. Without the bodyman, metal guys, then the bodyman, priming, painting, all goes hand in hand. Yeah. Everything has to be uniform. Yeah, I think the unsung hero is the bodyman. Absolutely. Seriously, you know, without them, dude, it doesn't matter how good the paint is. You get 100%. The experience guy. I have a hard time going to shows now, and I hate being that guy that, like, all I'm doing, it takes a lot, you know, to like really catch my eye now because I've been around it, you know, for a while. But isn't it like when you go there, you almost are trained to like look for flaws rather than look for dopeness, you know? And it sucks because it takes away from you. Like, oh man, dude, I really want to enjoy the show, but man, that's sticking out to me too much for me to like not overlook it. And I'm like, I think that's just one of those things where you get to, you know, hone your skills more because it's going to reflect on your quality. Right. So. And you know what? It's your name. Yeah. I mean, do you want to be known for the guy to just, they got a badass paint job, but man, bodywork though. Nah, I'd rather take control of the situation. I don't care if I need a 10-foot rod to do bodywork. Hey son, go on that side, let's go. But you know what I mean? Like, I know that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but you know, knowing your tools, knowing what they do, all that stuff plays to a part, you know? You don't just pick up a block one night and go, I'm going to do bodywork. It ain't that way, you know? It's really experience, time, putting in the time. You know, a lot of guys don't want to put in the time. And I even see that in paintwork where man, how many cars have we gone through to pick for best use of color, right? And I go, man, if they just I would have given that car the prize if they just took that extra time to block that car down and flow coat it. Yeah. Hands down. Yeah, definitely. And then I turn around and I pick a car that might have already won, but that car's flawless. Yeah.
Well, you still have a lot of that situation play out, especially when it comes to custom graphics. Because you'll see those cars that are built and look beautiful. The color, the patterns, the shades they use, and then this artwork's put on there and they don't clear coat it correctly, and it just it kills it. It kills the job. It kills the vividness of the artistic work, and ultimately that's what we're talking about, right? These finished products are art. At the end of the day, they're art, and you want to treat that art right from the start to the finish, because ultimately when we sit back and we're looking at it, it don't matter what show we're at. We've been in shows from Bakersfield to Tampa, right, to Kentucky this year, but Chicago and all these other shows, and it doesn't matter the show you're at, but it does kind of drive you a little crazy because, to your point, we become trained. Yep. But I would say even some of the builders that are doing it now, that are just getting into it, they're young at it, but they're still realizing it themselves. Hey, these are some of the things that matter, right? Here's points. Yep. You start counting stuff in points, then you start looking at things saying, well, why did I lose it here? Why did I not lose it? What about my graphics here? And I think ultimately, at the end of the day, it's a guy like Munch walking around judging that car, thinking, what could have been done a little different? How could they have made this a little better? And sometimes it's taking their time and just doing the steps, right? Yeah. Process. The topic that I've had come up on frequent occasion, I think it's maybe just because of, what I've seen to this point is like, how much should be given just because you have it? Okay, now you got the point because you have engraving. But shouldn't you get a point extra for, does that engraving look, does it look good? Right. Is it in the right place? Is the quality there to match it? I think that point scale needs to be adjusted for that.
And I've heard that some shows are actually being judged in that manner, but you know, it's just one of those things. I'm like, okay, yeah, you can point stack all you want, and okay, that car obviously won because of points, but this car is way better than that one.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I think it wins. And so it's kind of like, you know,
And that's the big debate. What you're saying is a big debate, even for me, right? Like, this is a perfect example. You've seen that '63 wagon that they converted into a 2-door, black. It was at the Grand National Roadster Show last year. This thing is phenomenal. Straight black paint job. Mm-hmm. But when you look at this thing, they molded wheel tops. They back window opens. You hit a button on the tail light and the freaking filler neck opens up for gas. Like the stuff they thought of was insane. And
engineering?
The engineer was incredible. But then I see a lowrider next to that car and people walk by that car.
Yeah.
Because that car's badass right there. And the paint job is sick and all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But if you go back to detailing points, you know, right? Like, how do you go about separating?
Well, I think that's where you go back to who's judging it, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Who's looking at it? Who understands what they're looking at? Yeah. Because, you know, especially in the custom world, we see guys that do a lot of really subtle custom changes.
Yep.
And you go, do they know that? Do I have to do a storyboard and lay out everything that's unique about this build?
I've seen that at shows. I think Triton did a 59 El Camino, but they did like a Cadillac like rear end to it. So it looked like it came factory that way, dude. And you're like, wait up, what is this? You know, and I'm looking at them like, well, this is a 59 Elko, man, but they did so much custom work to it. And then you could start to see the layout to where they were building. I'm like, but at first glance, I didn't know what I was looking at. I was like, this car looks amazing. Why didn't they build this?
Right.
You know?
And to me, I love seeing a car that's been heavily modified.
Yeah.
And I go, this should have been part of their plan. This should have been part of GM's design.
Exactly.
And I go, dude, I would have bought one back in the day if I was in that realm going, this is what I want, right? Like, I don't know. I love seeing guys that transform a car.
Yeah.
You know, because it's hard to transform a car.
Oh, yeah.
Without the design sense.
You know what I think it comes into play with that too? And I think the Japanese have figured it out, bro. Because they're not afraid to chop up a car.
Nope.
You get somebody in here who's got a nice, clean 63, or even a project one. Oh, I'm going to restore it, and they're going to get, you know, factory molding and all that stuff, and they're looking for everything all original, not non-repop stuff. And I'm like, do you know your history, bro? Do you remember what the term Frenching in something is?
Oh my God,
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, or like, you know,
sectioning
the
body to
I'd
get
say
it to
go
where you
back
want
to
it.
the first generation of Gypsy Rose. Well, I'd say the second generation, but the 63. It had Dodge Dart taillights in it. They're like, huh? I was like, go back, look, dude. That was a custom car. Yeah. That wasn't just a lowrider. I'm like, and if you want to go back in history even more, where did lowriders come from? The same place hot rodders come. They got the same grandparents, man. They come from sombrero hubcaps and white wall Zephyrs.
Yep.
You know, I'm talking about like 54 Fords and Chevys, all kinds of, you can get into the whole demographics of what was dope in the 30s, and because all these guys came back and they wanted speed from World War II. They were fighter pilots and all that stuff, and so it was all about horsepower and stuff. And mags were the first thing after hubcaps and white walls, and then from there, the Riviera spokes were coming out and stuff, and people wanted Buicks.
And it's crazy because look at how test of time the Supremes, the wire wheels,
they
all
came
that
back.
stuff, they all came back.
And if you look at what the Japanese are doing, they did the homework. They're like, where did lowriding start? Right here, right after the customs. Okay, this is what we're going to start doing. What were they doing back then? Well, they were Frenching in stuff. They were chopping tops. They were grafting in this stuff. They were like, they weren't afraid to go, we're going to do that too. And I'm like, the West Coast and like the lowriding world, they went away from that and they started to going to more traditional builds. So now it's like, you're seeing the resurgence of that come back with the 70s look. And I'm digging it, bro. Because to me, I'm like, this is my childhood all over again. I'm like, ooh, this is cool. My Theo had that going on. And like, it's cool. But yeah, it was dope.
And not for nothing, man. Them guys crossed seas or adopted us. Dude, like their style.
Have you been there?
No, I'm dying.
Yeah, I think everybody I've talked to said that. I want to make that trip over
that's
there.
One
you haven't been?
No, bro. Mercado was telling me about it. Jonathan Ricardo. Shout
He
out
knows.
to Jonathan. Yeah,
He knows.
yeah, he went over there and he was telling me all about it. I was like, dude, I gotta go, bro. He's all,
Dude, but
it's amazing.
they've taken our culture
Mhm.
and embraced it and brought it to a different level.
Well, I mean, the similarities between like that culture, regard for respect,
Right.
and like street culture, respect and stuff really go hand in hand.
Right.
So it was a good matchup, man. They're like, it's really cool that they pay homage to like
Absolutely.
to an issue where it's like in its purest form.
Yeah.
And I dig it.
And it ain't just
I dig it.
lowriders, man.
Yeah, it's everything.
It's everything.
Yeah.
They took the hot rod scene.
Yep.
They took lowriding. They
Yep.
took. I mean, those vans with the crazy wings
Yep.
that they're doing right now. Those things are cool as hell. to me.
Yeah, and you
I
see
mean-
some of that stuff transitioning over here. I've seen some fools come in with imports, bro, and they got these crazy wings, and they got these mufflers, bro. They look like
They're
you see on
stacked.
a chopper, bro. And I'm like, what the
You
heck?
think you're on a
Yeah.
Sportster with a
Yeah,
6
exactly.
foot exhaust pipe
You know, I'm
coming
like,
out
this
the
is
back.
like, it should be in a chopper, bro.
Right.
Like, hearing like, what's that movie with the Peter Fonda and dang it, whatever. But anyways,
That one.
yeah, that one. Yeah, it'll come to me.
But you know what? To me, I love seeing that. I mean, and believe it or not, like a lot of our cars are getting bought up here to
Yeah.
go across seas. I mean, Sweden. They have a big scene there.
Well, remember when the yen was like super outmatching what the dollar was at one point, and they started buying pretty much anything Americana.
Right.
So
right.
all these classics went over there,
Went
and they
over
still survived. So that's why you got a huge scene of everything.
Yep.
So, it was crazy because I remember like I was a Volkswagen guy, and I had a bus, and I had like 63 Samba 23
Mhm.
window and all
Yep.
that stuff.
Yep. Oh, I love
And,
those. Love those.
I was gonna get another one later on, but didn't work out. But long story short, the guy bought it off me. He's like, I'm gonna sell it to restore it and fix it to sell it to the Japanese. They're buying everything right now. I
Yeah.
was like, no way. That's when I first learned about it. But this is back in 98.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So it was nuts.
I mean, and it's still going hard.
Oh yeah,
They ain't slowing down.
I'm digging it, bro.
They ain't
Because
slowing down.
lowriding right now is worldwide.
Yeah.
Custom paint because of that is worldwide.
I mean, look at
So-
the guy Rohan.
Yeah.
Was it Rohan? How he
Dude,
engraved that whole
that-
car
Yeah.
and did this whole work.
The techniques that they came up
Yeah.
with, the ingenuity, that was a trip,
It's incredible, dude.
Dude, not to mention their chrome, bro. I think we're finally able to get that stuff now.
Really.
But for the longest time,
Yeah,
they
it
were
was.
stingy
It
with
was
it,
like,
dude.
yo, this is our.
They were
This is
stin-
our.
yeah.
This is our.
It's like,
baby.
you guys had so
It's our
much, now
baby.
we got this one thing, they're gonna, cradle that thing. But yeah, the whole, Asian, sector, they had like this chrome that, it was a single stage chrome that you could spray on there that was killer, better than anything else we had out here, and we're like trying to get it. I remember talking to, God rest Danny D, man.
Mhm.
That dude's a legend. But I was talking to him about it. He's like, yeah, they're not giving that up to us, bro. He's like, I even asked him, they won't.
Yo, when I saw that car in person, because that car was here in
Oh, yeah.
in
Yeah, yeah.
Vegas, was it?
They had the gold one and the
Yeah, they had both of them.
and the chrome one.
When I saw that car, I walked around that car 30 times,
It's a trip, dude.
trying to go. I wanted to kind of put my mind into what was their motive or thinking, right?
Mhm.
Because the way they laid it out, the way they did everything, and you're going,
And it was a crew of people.
yeah,
Did you
dude,
see how they
it
did that
wasn't
deal?
it wasn't like one dude,
Yeah.
like, and to be all cohesive all the way around.
Yeah.
It
Balanced.
It looks so balanced, so put together, right? To me, it was an eye opener.
You know what I was hoping for that they would have done? I don't know if they're going to do it still, and I haven't seen it lately. I was hoping, like, what would it look like if they did candy patterns over all that?
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine?
Over the chrome
To
paint?
coincide with the actual engraving. So
So-
that way it doesn't hide the engraving.
Right.
It just accentuates it.
Accentuates it.
I was like, oh, man, that'd be so bad.
I mean, picture it as when you do grinding metal.
yeah,
When
exactly.
you put your candy over grinding metal, it gives you that nice facet, but then you put it out in the sun, that thing is all over the place. I
Mhm.
could just see them little lines that they put in, and with the candy, and you're walking by it, and everything's going.
Yeah.
Because the candy's darker, lighter, darker,
Yeah,
lighter, darker.
exactly, bro.
I
It's
could
just
see that.
it's just a thought, I was just thinking about that. But to get back to your painting thing, Maki, you went from production painting to restoration.
Yep.
Now you're doing custom, right?
Well, yeah, I was doing custom paint for quite some time. Just it started with a dabble, right? Like
Mhm.
like doing little bikes here and stuff like that, and then Joe Soapy was pushing me to do more and more, and he pushed me. He goes, "Look, you've gotten to the point where I think you understand,
Okay.
and for you to get now with somebody that is more modern," and that's when I met Javier Soto.
Now, who's Javier? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. He said I met him back in an alley.
He's up and coming.
I mean, yeah.
He's up and coming.
Okay, that's probably
Javier
why I never heard
Soto
of him.
is definitely an up and coming. Okay, if you guys haven't heard of him, look him up. It's Hover
Over.
on Instagram, guys. And
Not for
his work is getting better.
Not for.
No, but honestly, he is. When I met him for the first time, he's just kind of like, you know, typical dude. He's up here, man.
I'll say this: me and Spock were like, "Oh, dude, Munch is in town. Cool. I can't wait to talk to Javi."
Yeah, because you know we're like
right next
brothers,
to
man.
Yeah.
That's my brother. Honestly, like I call him for the most stupidest shit, bro. And he's like, okay.
Well, think about
He's
this.
my voice
Hey,
of
the
reason.
last
like
time
that
he was
dude.
out west,
Yeah.
Javier was with him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
SEMA.
I was
At
expecting
SEMA.
it, bro, because I was
And
like,
even
"This
at
is cool."
the Grand National Horse Show, we last year we were together.
Yeah.
You know, and we've done a lot of cool things together. He's taught me so much. I mean, honestly, it took a minute, you know. So I came into his shop going, "You need anything clear? Because I can clear, right?
Mhm.
You need anything sanded? Whatever you want me to do." And he says it too sometimes. He goes, "Yeah." So I'm like, "Fuck, why not, bro? Let him clear my shit, right?
Yeah.
He can do it." Then we started getting more, and he started, I guess, realizing that I was real about it.
Mhm.
I wasn't there just to be there, right?
That's huge because I don't know how many people I've had seen come in the game, and you don't see them next year.
right.
Or they might be there for a couple of years, and then like, where did they go, dude? And they were good. You know,
Right.
it's like, what happened?
Right.
You know, things happen in life and stuff, but
Yeah.
there's it's like far and few between the ones who really last are the ones who have a passion for this.
Yes.
They do it out of their hearts.
Exactly.
They're not doing it for the money. They're not, doing it just for the clout and stuff. They're doing it because when they get home, they're like, I gotta paint something. I got an idea in my head that I want to throw down on whatever it is as far as like, the materials. If it stays still long enough, I can mess with it.
Right.
You know?
And I don't know, you guys know as well as I do, man. Like a guy like that, when they're in on a project, they're 100% in.
Oh, no joke.
There's
It's
no
almost to the point where
pulling
it's
out.
obsessive.
It's obsessive.
Yeah.
And Gilbert knows now from dealing with me, like when I get into something, I won't stop till it's done.
Mhm.
And if there's something wrong, I ain't gonna finish. I ain't gonna stop until
gonna
I
let it
get
slide.
that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that to where I'm approved at that point, right?
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, like any painter, the painter's the last line of defense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
people
definitely.
forget that, right? And I always, told my preppers and stuff, I was like, look, if I let that little bad sanding, I see the lines slide,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to show at the end. And they're not going to say it was my prepper's fault.
Nope.
They're going to say, why would Munch leave that?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with art.
Yeah.
All right, sometimes, we make it, hey, Nubs put it perfectly to me one time, right?
Shout out to Nubs.
What up,
Nubs
buddy?
Graphics.
That's my boy, man. And you're throwing a line, right? You guys are pinstripers, right? I'm not a pinstriper. I dabble. I use my way of making things happen, right? But when I remember doing a line, and the thick, thin. He was, you can always make it thicker. And I'm like, really, bro? But it ain't the same. He goes, I'm just saying. And in my brain, I always thought of it like, do it right once.
Yeah.
Don't sacrifice your name just to have something out there with your name.
Yeah, and then be patient because
Yes.
it doesn't come overnight.
No way, man.
There's a lot of guys out there that have the hunger for it, and that's why I say the passion and the heart is really detrimental because people get discouraged very quick
Oh my God. I
because
mean,
they think it's easy,
I'll tell you right now.
or they have a lot of confidence in their abilities, and they're like, dude, this is difficult.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it took a long time to learn how to walk.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't
Yeah.
come out of the womb going, "Hey, what's up? We're here." No,
And
hell
even
no.
at that, as far as
know?
I'm concerned,
Munch might have.
It depends.
He didn't fall very far.
I
though.
didn't fall. I think they dropped me out onto
He's
the
still the
floor.
same size.
Hey,
You're not supposed to be in this video.
So, but seriously, a lot of people want to run before they walk,
Yeah.
and
Was the eagerness, bro, because
Yeah.
of the excitement. And I hate to put any type of damper on somebody who's that excited, but I don't really want to, like, when I'm giving guidance, that's exactly what it is. I'm like, I'm not going to take that energy away, but I want to show you which direction you should go in because it's going to improve as you go along.
To add to what you're saying,
Go ahead.
Javier, back to Javier.
Uh-oh.
All right.
This is gonna be Javier's story.
Yeah, because I get very excited when I'm doing something. I'm like, yo, let's go, right? right.
Are you
So
serious?
Javier, I would be like, yo, what do you think?
Mhm.
And he'd stand there and he'd be like, yeah, it's okay. He would never say like, yo, that shit is dope, right? Because he wanted to keep me grounded.
You know what? Everybody needs a friend like that. I got Spock for that, and I guess Spock's got me for that. So, but you'll see, like they'll be matching. I remember Danny and Bugs were like that too, you know. And then it's like it's cool. You have good somebody to keep you level headed,
Right.
You know. And it's like the whole yin and yang thing. That is definitely you.
That's a
and
fact.
Javi, you know.
And there's something about when we get to work, he knows what I'm gonna do,
Mhm.
and I know what he's gonna do. He knows he can let me just go, and then we come back in and we put our minds together. We start figuring things out. We start color play, whatever it is, right? And then I'll stand back. Yo, that shit's dope. He goes, I'm not done. And I'm like
that. Huh?
I'm like, damn, bro, you're like,
You're not excited?
But you know what? It's good for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Because
bro.
you know something? When I get excited, right? And I'm physically going, yo, how we killed this one, we knocked it out of the park. And he'll be like, yeah, but we could have done this. Now this is a teaching moment.
Mm-hmm.
We could have added this. We could have done a little different here.
Yeah.
We could have, and it would have probably made it that much better.
And I've seen that in you guys' art. I mean,
You know?
Paint or Die was one of the best shows, and this is the first time I've met you guys. And I was tripping out because I didn't even know Javi Stripe, bro.
Dude,
I just
Javi-
knew him as like one of the
Javi
world's
plays
best
people out,
airbrushers.
and I tell him all the time,
Yeah.
you need to stop saying you don't strike. Because when we would sit there, I would encourage him to do more and more because he was like, nah, I just don't want. I'm like, dude.
He doesn't consider himself a striper, right?
No.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, dude,
I mean,
your
listen,
lines- his
he's
line's
known
clean.
for his airbrushing.
Oh yeah.
But what people don't know is Javi does everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he ain't afraid to get down and do body work and priming and base coating and getting to that point. And his airbrushing just complements everything else he does. And pinstriping, leafing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, it's mind blowing.
He did your wagon, right?
The whole hood piece
Yeah.
on that thing. He was. I think I still got the video, and people are like,
You
"Who
need to
did
post
that?"
that, bro.
And I'm like,
Post that, bro.
Javi,
Give him a shout out.
And
Tag him.
I did, and
Did
even
you?
I think
I
because
haven't
when
seen
we
him
first
striping.
when we first did it, I was hovering over him, and you know, he's into it, right, doing his thing, you know, and man, like even in the design, he knows everything about it. He's good with it.
Uh-huh.
He just don't do it enough.
Really?
You know, I guess it ain't that he's not confident in doing it, but like he says, I do it to do it, but he's not like there's Glens around us. You know, when you have a Glenn Weisberger pinstriping right
Yeah,
there,
I know what you're
and
talking
you're right
about,
here,
bro.
but your strong suit is airbrushing,
Mhm.
you're gonna lean on that airbrush,
Yeah.
right? And I'll tell you what, I love you, Javi, to death, man. And I
Right.
told you from the beginning,
Major
bro,
shout out.
you need to
Big
do it more,
inspiration
brother.
for me as well.
You know, because he's treated me like a brother. He gives me hard facts. He gives me when I'm right, tells me when I'm wrong. There's no sugarcoating. There's times that we've gotten into arguments in the middle of a paint job because that happens, right? People think everything is kosher. Yo,
I don't know what
it's
you're
not.
talking about.
It's not, right? Look, if you don't argue and disagree to
Yeah.
agree, nothing works out.
Dude, it sounds like you're talking about a marriage, bro.
Right, it is. But it is. I mean,
I
my
would say
wife
so.
says it all the time, and it's funny because she's saying it now about Gilbert. You know,
Oh.
you know. I mean, honestly, we'll sit there and I'm like, bullshit, and I'm like, and I have to think about what he's saying, and I walk the hell away, pissed the hell off,
You will.
and then I come back
It's
and I'm
not
like,
real until he
you're
leaves
right.
you at the airport, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Damn,
I'm not at that
honey,
level.
I didn't
Not at
mean
that
to
level
leave
yet.
you at the airport. I promise I will never do it again, babe. Love you. But yeah, I'll never live that one down. You know?
He's not gonna live that one down.
But honestly, it's a partnership for a reason, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like, and there is gonna be times where, look, man, we all have our good days and our bad days.
You know what? It's crazy as things have been, dude. I mean, right now it's like COVID seems a million miles away.
Right.
You know, people are falling left and right, you know, from COVID. And not that, you know, it's completely gone. People are still, you know, dealing with stuff, but man, bro, right? It seems so much better, as far as the community is concerned, that we don't have that over our head, and we're able to enjoy life the way it was to a degree. But if you don't have those connections of family and stuff in your communities, with friends like, in your case, Javi, me, and Javier.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, Javier.
Yeah,
Javi. And it's like, you need that as a custom painter.
Right.
You need that as just a human being in general. But custom paint can get stressful, man.
Yeah, man. And I'll be honest, he knows, last year, like all them decks, we were banging decks out from one day to another because we had another show the following week, and I'm going, yo, I gotta fly home, I gotta get this done. And
these decks, where'd you get them from?
And Skateboard Connection.
Tim,
Shout out to Tim.
Tim,
I got you,
what
bro.
up?
I got you. Remember that, dog. Remember that.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Tim Muniga, Skateboard Connection, Instagram.
damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right. If you haven't followed him, start checking him out.
Yeah.
He's got the hook up.
Comes through. Absolutely.
Yep, definitely, 100%.
But sometimes I get back home, I'm flaking, clearing, sanding, patterning, doing whatever lettering I'm doing. That's just everything I'm doing to have them for the following week.
Dang, bro.
And I'm traveling with, sometimes I'm high on a plane, bro. I'm going, I just fucking cleared that shit, bro. Oh my God.
It's still leaking
and
to
I
you,
feel
bro?
bad for the person next to me because
It's
I
still
have it right
curing?
next to me. They're still curing, dude. But
Dude,
you
that's
gotta
not
do what you gotta
uncommon.
do,
That's
right?
not unheard of.
You gotta do what you gotta do in this
Yeah,
industry.
definitely.
It's funny you bring up COVID though, because 2020 for us was actually a really good year, and part of that was because people were staying home.
Yep.
So you had more people tinkering. You
Dude,
had more people
I had
playing
more
and stuff.
business, and every painter I know had more business. I'm kind of missing COVID in a way.
Yeah.
But it's, it's just like I said, as far as custom paint's concerned and the relationship, you need those friends.
Right.
You
And that's where
do.
me and Javier, believe it or not, that's where the COVID, the wagon came about.
Yeah.
COVID, we wanted to keep ourselves busy, right? And I was like already stripped it, had it in raw metal, and I was like, look, I'm gonna finish the roof first. So I started with a roof as a demo.
Okay.
I was like, let me backtrack. I did the dash, and Javier goes, "You're committed.
Yeah, you can't just leave a dash
You
alone
can't
like
leave
that,
the dash
bro.
alone. You're committed."
Yeah.
And now the whole time I'm going, shit, he's right.
Yeah.
I kind of pigeonholed myself to even a design on the dash,
Okay.
where you gotta kind of flow up. I was gonna do the roof to match, right?
That's typically how it works.
Yeah. So I went up, bodywork the roof, primed the roof, got it all based out, flaked out, and then me and Javier, I go, look, I'll get it laid out, and then we'll just do a jam session of paint. So I sat there, and there's a video out there of me, taping, and
I've
then
seen that one.
Javier comes in, and we just start focusing on getting the panel done. We cleared the roof, locked it down, sanded it, and added some leafing, subtle little touches to give it some cool factor, and then the body was still in raw form, raw metal. And that roof was done. Now we have to go backwards because I got to do bodywork, 80 grit up into the roof where I painted. I'm freaking out a little bit, going, oh my God.
Are you protecting your edges with like a grip
Oh
tape?
my God, it was ridiculous, right? So we get back, and there's not one person in this world, like I gotta give props, right? Because when I was doing this car, there was some guys that would come through, man, to help out. You know what I mean? Because when you're working all day, and then I was going crazy, man. I was, because of COVID, I go to work early, and then I'd finish work, and then I'd work through the night on the wagon. Just to get
That's
it
a lot
done.
of dedication, bro.
Yeah, and honestly, not only dedication, a lot of lost time with my family.
No joke, man.
And what people don't understand, when we're putting our heart and soul into something, we're pretty much putting our family on the side.
And that's the one thing that, a lot of people don't understand. Time, you can't get it back.
Never.
And then that time spent is really literally spent.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did it go?
Yeah, and that's where if you don't, it's hard for me because, like my wife will tell you, I'm a spaz, dude. When I start getting into it, I don't get out of it. I'll be in the garage 3 days straight. I'll come in for a power nap, go back out there. just because I need a power nap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I still to this day I try to, when I'm invested in something, it kicks in, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I'm out, it's like a load off your shoulders.
Yeah.
And then you're still recuperating, so you're still not dedicating your time to the family. And then when you do decide to dedicate your time, now you're all in with the fam, right?
Yeah.
And then the next job's rolling.
So who are the shoutouts going to be for?
Who helps you with the wagon?
Well, so there was a couple guys there, you know, like I got to give props to the old shop that I worked at.
Okay.
You know, not for nothing. I know I'm no longer there, and you know, I'm now House of Color, right?
Okay.
But if it wasn't for him giving me a spot in the shop where that spot's costing him money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And giving me a spot to build the wagon, that would have never happened at home. You know what I mean? And letting me do my thing, and me and Javier doing our thing, and you know, there was a body guy there that would help me out here and there and getting stuff straight and stuff, because when your brain is going a million miles a minute, you know, I have my buddy Rudy. He would come to the shop during the day and take time off of his job just to get the hydraulics set up right.
Nice.
You know, so we did the whole frame, had it rolling, hydros ready to go. Then I took a body on a freaking, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go. Hitting the switches on the lift just to get everything down. And it looked cool because it looked like something like a UFO coming down into the frame, right? You know, but you know, there's always those guys, right? You know, that are gonna be down to help. You know, and I'm the first guy that'll get in line, and if I can offer my service and help out, because you never know, man. You don't do it for what can you do for me.
Yeah.
You do it out of the kindness of your heart, and it'll eventually come back to you.
Yeah, it does, man. You know, it's been that way, and from my experience, and I think, you know, for the most part, like those people who last, that's one of the major reasons why.
Right.
You know.
And Joso can attest to this. You know, he had a major heart attack. You know, a heart attack when I had met him, when he was teaching me. He had an old Model A that he was doing, and they were gonna take it from the shop.
Oh wow!
So I went there. I finished up all the body work. You know, I would bring one of my buddies from the shop that I was working at. We sit there and jam out, body fill, whatever. Then I took it up, primed everything up. You know, finished all the welding spots, built the car and everything. And when it was all said and done, you know, I told him, "That's your money. I just did it to help you. So you want to lose your job?" You know, and after that, to this day, we still talk. And he's, you know, unfortunately not doing the best right now, and he still calls me. And I got the worst phone call a couple weeks ago from him going, "Hey, you're always on the road. I just want to say I love you. I don't know if I'm going to talk to you again," because he was going under the knife for another heart attack, you know, heart.
That's rough.
And
man.
but that guy right there almost felt like he was indebted to me for what I did. And I'm going, dude, no, that was the least I can do. You know, you're teaching me something that I will have forever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no price on that. Just
Yeah,
like
definitely.
Javier, everything he's taught me, dude, there's no price on that. You know what I mean? Like, we're lucky. I'm lucky that I had guys that were willing. Back then, they didn't want to give up any of their secrets.
Man, dude, that's the common denominator between that generation of painting and that custom scene.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, you want to put me out of a job mentality type of thing. It's like, I ain't trying to create a competitor. We used to have that term here, like, are you, you know, if you're helping somebody out, you're going to create a monster.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, huh? You know?
And I look at it like this, man, there's enough work for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got my little town, man. I always have work in my town, no matter where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, you guys have your area. You're going to always have work, right?
Yeah.
Like, so what? There's Mo, Larry, and Curly. You know, there's enough to go around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've equated it to food because everybody can relate to food. There's a reason why there's a McDonald's and a Burger King.
Right.
They've been around forever, but they don't have the same thing. They say they serve burgers. The food's not the same. You know,
Yeah, but look at Lowe's and Home Depot.
Yeah.
They're always next to each other.
Everybody
They're
loves
both
In and Out,
making
though,
money.
bro. Everybody loves In and Out, though.
Oh, man.
Shout out to the West Coast In and Out.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a White Castle guy. I like the
See,
mini burgers.
I've been to White Castle. It didn't do it for me,
Hey,
bro.
whatever.
They were okay. They
When
were okay.
When we come to Arizona, it's Whataburger.
Oh, Whataburger. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
the
Southwest
Whataburger,
thing
yeah.
right
Yeah,
there, too.
exactly. The name
Yeah.
makes Whataburger.
I was a Calizonan for a long time. I'm more of an Arizonan now. I grew up in Central Cali, so it's like, yeah, I do love both.
Some flashbacks, huh?
Yeah, there we go.
Being that I eat very little now, I mean, it's like defeating the purpose of me eating Whataburger or anything else because I'll have a bite and I'm like, I'm full. Then there's a big old burger with a couple chunks out of it. I don't get to enjoy it really and get that full experience anymore. Okay?
Do you want to talk about why?
Nah, not really.
Okay, cool.
It's more like a personal thing.
All right, cool.
You know, but it's funny because we just came for dinner and my boss like, oh no, he's done.
Yeah.
No, that's cool though, man.
Shout out to Tom.
Shout
Thanks
out
for
to Tom.
dinner tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing I would say about what you just brought up though too as well is that when you have knowledge, when you have people that are technically capable of doing things others can't, and they won't share it, that's an easy way to kill it.
No
You
joke.
lose it because even in the collision industry, we have that now where we have people that don't. We call it a bench, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going to pull the next paint or the next body man from? Especially we talk metalworking. We're talking certain things that now it's remove and replace. They just buy a part, they replace it. That's not really as technical as it once was. But those older generation, the guys that were not doing it or were doing it but not sharing it, now they're being phased out of the industry, and no one's there to replace them.
Right.
And that's a shame.
Yeah, that does
We're
suck.
losing it.
I myself adopted a self rule. It's like if I come up with anything new, which is super difficult to do, I'll at least share it with one person. That way I don't take it to the grave. You know, eventually it'll get out, you know, and those who know, but still it's like, you know, I've always understood that, you know, how many things have been lost over the years,
Right.
you know, because of just technically advancing something, you know. I mean, crushed glass was one of the things that was non-existent. You had to find old stock of it. Nobody was doing it anymore. And I'm like, why not? You know, that stuff was dope. And it still is dope and stuff, you know. We're lucky that we were able to bring that back. But still, you know, there's a lot of other things, you know, that I can say and speak on. But, you know, as far as like, you know, the wagon goes, you sprayed that with House of Color, right?
That's our white with ice pearl, the white ice pearl over top of the white.
Okay.
You know, it looks so dope.
It did. I saw it in person. I was like, I
when
loved everything about that ride, bro.
When I first did the white, you know, because when I first brought out the wagon, I brought it out solid white with the ice pearl, with the graphics and the roof done, and I wasn't fully committed to where I was at, right? I was like, I still wanted extra. So Javier goes, look, man. I go, dude, I want your touch. You know, look, you're my brother, bro. I want your name stamped on these. You know what I'm saying? And
is this PG?
Not no more.
we started. Sorry, we started.
Not no more.
We started. You know, I did the pattern across the bottom, and man, I was stuck because you know it has that wheel arch. You got this weird little void. I'm like, you know what? Don't care about the wheel arch. Just follow it. Go down, and then I flipped it to the other side for the quarter, and he goes, okay, so you got the layout. Let's go. He came up with, you know, I was like, dude, we both start talking about family and how to incorporate it. And first thing that pops up is, and I told him, you know, that button tuck that's on the side, Javier.
Dude, that was one of the coolest things I saw because it reminded me of the old quilting they used to do. With the, you know, I was like,
So
dope.
Javier figured out how we can do it quickly and efficient. And he made a dope file of it and stuff. And I was like, dude, this is your deal. I want to do that on the wagon. And he goes, all right. So he's airbrushing. I go, look, I got 4 kids. He goes, so we'll do your wife. I'm playing cards with Clown Maker because I wanted to do a fun place. So that portrait on the quarter panel is my wife.
I remember you pointing that out.
Yeah, and that's I think it was our 20-year anniversary. My face was here. We were at the Shar House, remember, hon? And it was cool because he photoshopped my face out and then imposed the hair on her and made her look like her, right?
Yeah.
And then we added the funny touch, you know. And then we were like, he was like, well, what about in the front? So I go, put a skull, you know. And a skull kind of has a smile and it's looking backwards a little bit if you pay attention to it. And I'm going, that's all the hard work that I put in and all the time lost from the family and all that stuff. Kind of looking back at them, smiling like. And then we put 4 cherubs for my 4 kids and 4 flowers on the car for the 4 kids. That's the way I brought up family tie together. And then we called it the Love Machine because shit, I love Cheech and Chong. And he was saying it that way, you know? I'm like, Love Machine, you know? And people always go, yo, that car's, it's for my family. It ain't nothing about smoke. You know what I mean? It ain't even got smoke. I mean, it may smoke out the exhaust, but that's about it. You know?
I don't expect it to.
You know, but honestly, like, that's where Javier's brain is insane. You know, I had posted videos of him with a whole design on paper, and he has it ahead of him, and he's just sitting there, airbrushing, dude. So I had a deadline, not even a deadline. I was called up and said, hey, World of Wheels is coming.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't even done. I didn't even have a rear in it. And we finished all the sides, you know, together, you know, we got the pinstriping done and he did his dope little design that kind of complements the pattern and all that. And I cleared it, sanded it, buffed it. Me and Mike put the rear in it, and shit, I didn't even get to drive it. And we took it to World of Wheels. Not tuned, not tested, nothing. Hydraulics were still moving slow because it still needed to be a little bit, you know, air bound and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, and that moment, I go, me and Javier did something special, and it's something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life.
That's dope, man.
You know, and
it's your own vehicle. That's what's even
right.
better.
And I'm always going to, you know, look at that car and know all the hours and time that me and him spent together as brothers, right? And it was so smooth and effortless. It wasn't work. It was play.
Yeah. And
it was love. We were both so into it. You know, and when it was done and I took it to that first show, I was so pumped, dude, because, you know, that car came home with four trophies. You know, best engine, best paint, best graphic, and best lowrider. And I called him up, dude, and it chokes me up still because I was like, yo, you don't believe this shit. He goes, what? I was like, yo, we're taking home 4. And it came with money. And I was like, he was like, get the hell out of here. I was like, shit. You know, and I'm super proud that me and him just where we started, where he gave me the opportunity, you know, and why not? Like, it's my own car. Who gives a crap? I want to have my brother on it.
Yeah.
That's all that mattered to me. You know, and then making it for my family was my next big thing, because my wife drives that thing too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, dude.
Right on, man.
You know?
I seen that thing, dude, and I was like looking at it, I was like, because I'm like, what are these Jersey boys doing here? I want to see what they, you know, their interpretation of lowriding is. And I'm like, this looks like a West Coast car. That was the first thing I saw. I was like, this doesn't look like somebody in Jersey did it. You know, and I was like, and I started going through it, and I was like looking at all the setup, and I'm looking at the interior, and I'm like, the airbrushing, I'm like, this was done legit, you know? And I'm like, if I saw it on a West Coast show, I wouldn't have thought anybody from Jersey touched it, dude.
Right. And
not to say that that's a bad thing. That's a compliment, dude, because it's like, I've seen people in Florida doing stuff, and I'm like, they got an idea. You know, I've seen people in Texas doing stuff, and you can see regional styles show in your work.
Hell yeah.
That one has a slight hint, but I would have to know to look for it, you know, rather than see it like right away.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a West Coast car, you know.
And
legit.
it's funny, you know, like we said, rest in peace to Danny D.
Yeah.
You know, when he saw that car in raw metal.
Okay.
And he goes, I got this for it, I got that for it. I got the grill from Danny, you know. It was cool that he was willing to help me out. I'd call him up, be like, me and Javier are both on the phone, so pick your brain. Let's talk. What do you think? What do you this? What do you that? What do you this? And, you know, we were like 2 little kids talking to Danny, right? Because to us, he's up there, right? I mean, honestly, he's at that epic level of lowriding, right? And it was cool, you know, because when I sent him the picture of it done, he was like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, I'll take that shit, bro. I'll take that shit. You know, and I was like, God, I just
Yeah.
thought I'd show it, you know, out of respect, right? Because I was in my own way. And my and Javier's way, this is our way of paying homage, right, to the
Yeah.
Lowrider, you know, period. And, you know, my 81 Monte Carlo, I built it as a lowrider, but there's no patterns. I built it to showcase my bodywork.
There you go.
That was 100% the only reason why I did it, because people, you know, in this industry, when you're trying to progress your name and build your name, they want to see what you can do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I figured best thing I can do is show off a black paint job. And when I pulled that car out, and it was in Lowrider C magazine and everything, like that was my baby. And I got the itch.
That's all it took, huh? See, like, you know, when you say Black Money and Lowrider, I mean, I already think Training Day, bro.
Oh, and that movie to me, like it ain't the year or the body, right?
Yeah.
But because I couldn't find one. You know what I mean?
Really?
This car was in a backyard by my house.
Wow.
Sitting in the backfield. It was white. It was a V6 car. And when I went to go look at it, because I saw them post a for sale sign on that car, they were like, sorry, it's sold.
Really?
Sold it for $1,500. And I was like, man, if they don't come back, here's my number, please call me. And I want to say like 2 weeks went by and I get a phone call and they were like, we unsold it. Like, how the hell do you unsell a car? Like, right? It didn't make sense to me. Well, they wanted to cut it up to make one of those like circle cars, you know, the circle track racing and stuff like that.
Okay.
Or whatever it is. It's like I don't know, they were gonna cut the quarters off, put fiberglass fenders, nose, and they were like, when they heard that, the guy was like, this is my mom's car. I can't let that happen.
Yeah, that happens a lot, bro.
You know?
Yeah.
He called me up, he goes, you got $500? I go, I
Like
thought
that,
you wanted
bro?
12. Yeah, he goes, I thought you wanted
But you
12.
ain't
He
gonna
goes,
chop
no,
it
but
up.
you told me you were gonna restore this car back to its beauty. But you gotta do one favor for me. When you're done with this car, I want you to bring it to my house and let me video it and go for a ride one last time.
That's tight.
So it took me on and off 4 years at home, part-time, doing it, you know, and ended up getting a booth to paint it all, bring it back, build it, and shout out to Sean. He helped me out with that car a lot, man. We had a lot of late nights where we would sleep 2 hours and go to work, right, in my house. And, you know, got it done. I pull up to his house. He comes out the door and he's like, and just, boom, crying. Videoed it. We went for a ride and he goes, why is it so bouncy? I was like, that's my hydraulics. He goes, so freaking cool. He goes, I've only seen this in movies. You know, because he was older, you know what I mean? And that fueled it for me, dude. Seeing his face, and I always wanted to build another one, and I always loved wagons. And when I found that wagon in Pennsylvania, and I've seen that wagon for a long time, because that wagon has a little history. My godfather lived in Cresco, Pennsylvania, and there's a little candy store there.
Okay.
That was the guy, the owner of the candy stores. Like, he had a whole bunch of cars, and he painted it red to display it out front.
Okay.
And we would drive by and see it parked. And when I got the phone call that it was for sale, I was like, no, from Callie's Kitchen? Just like that. And I've actually talked, the father has since passed away. I've talked to the daughter.
Oh, cool,
and it's
man.
so cool because they were like, man, you made that thing so... I hated that damn wagon so long. I used to hit curbs and jump things, and, you know. And I'm going, well, I'm glad you hate it because I love it. And they got pictures, you know, I sent them pictures of it.
I'm so glad wagons have come back into the scene.
Oh, man.
I mean, myself, man, I'm a sucker for a Nomad, bro. I've
Dude,
been hunting for a long time.
I wanted a 59, but right now they're untouchable.
Yeah.
The prices have gone through the roof.
Oh my God, man. The scene is nuts because it's like, it makes me concerned about like what's the future of lowriding if it gets to the point where it's outpriced and people can't afford a project car.
That $3,500 car.
They're just rusting now, and rust doesn't have any mercy. It's going to continue to happen every year, and to eventually, like, are they going to start making fiberglass ones? Are they going to start doing like what they did with the '67 muscle cars and start making restamped, reissued 2020 '67s?
Yeah, Honestly, it's
my
a shame.
opinion, I think what's gonna happen is the new lowriders are gonna be the '90s imports.
And I could see that.
That's my assumption, bro.
So you're
like
right.
the Civic's gonna be the new Impala,
Well,
bro, or
look
the
at
new
my
G
son.
body.
Look at
You
my
know?
son's vision of a lowrider.
What is
It's
it?
his 91 Miata.
Well, dude, shoot, those things are. You're seeing like that drift scene.
Yeah.
It tripped me out because they were hitting me up because remember Faust and stuff. He's like, "You want to do up the roof and stuff? We'll do it into your glass." I'm like, "What kind of car is it?" And it's an S13, which Japanese spec 240 SX Nissan, and I'm like, "That's an import."
Yep.
You know, I'm like, "It's an import, and you're gonna do lowrider patterns on top of it?" He's all, "Yeah, that's the big thing right now."
Yep.
And I'm like, "On an import? Really?" And I started researching. I was like, "Oh dang, they're really going to town on imports now, and they're doing full on candies and all that stuff, leafing the whole 9 yards." And I'm like, "Wow, bro, I never thought that would actually, transverse over to that community, but it's big, dude."
And I just did it with my son's car.
Yeah.
He goes, "Well, I made a mistake, man. I screwed up totally." I go, "Look, you strip that car, I'll do all the metal and bodywork and get it painted." I came home, there was a bunch of high schoolers stripping a car. And my Monte Carlos all freaking red. All my wag, every single car in the garage is freaking red. A sea of red. But they were all excited because Sammy's gonna get his car.
Wow. That's some good friends right there, bro.
And it's funny. Bro. Hold on, my son is funny, right? Because my son's like, "Yeah, guys, he's been with me since little in the shops and doing stuff. He knows
he's been with you since birth.
Yeah, but he knows a lot in the shop. In the shop, he knows a lot. Right?
Cool, man.
And he knows the process.
Yeah.
Right? So I walk in and he's like, yeah, you're going too heavy. You're heating the metal. You're gonna warp the. And I'm hearing him talking, bro, and I'm like,
you think he's got the bug, bro? You think he's got the potential? It sounds like, right?
Yes.
The bug hasn't bit him yet.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's how my son is, bro.
Look, man, I'm gonna not lie. Look, there's his card. I tattooed on me because it was a father-son thing, right?
Yeah.
And he's getting it tattooed on his bicep.
Oh yeah.
Because that was to me, I wish my father, I could have done that with my dad, right? And to be there and look, this kid put his own air ride in.
Nice. Dude.
I was like, look, I'll help you put it in, but I'm a hydro guy.
Mm-hmm.
I love hydros.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about air ride, right?
Yeah.
But it's the same concept.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. Don't get me twisted, right? Mm-hmm. But so he did, man, and I give him props, man. Like, we built that car, pulled it out that summer, and I smoothed out the dash and painted the dash, the top half of the dash, made it drop down.
I still tripped out how much, how popular Miatas came to be, bro.
I mean, the BBS wheels he put on, I was like, yo, those are retro, bro.
Yeah.
He goes, nah, but I like that style.
Yeah.
And then when like this Christmas, he goes, Dad, we're still missing something. My roof. Let's fake it out. Let's candy it. Let's do patterns.
Wow.
And all this stuff. And, he goes, only thing I ask of you is because it is an import, I want a Japanese rising sun in the middle as part of your pattern. And that's how we built it.
That's tight, bro.
Heck
yeah.
He hasn't even come out with it yet. Because it's winter time, so.
That's the other thing I'm waiting for as well. Lowrider had a magazine out because the scene was so big at one point called Lowrider Euro.
Yep, I used to get that all the time.
Oh, I still got copies, bro.
I still got, remember that Civic?
No, it was Albert's, right? Because Albert got that car back, remember?
The Nissan, was it?
The Nissan? I think it was Nissan, right?
I think it was a Nissan.
Was it a Pulsar? Yeah. Which one?
No, I think it was a Sentra.
Sentra?
Okay.
Sentra.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those cars, my dad scored one too. And he's like, you want this car? It's like the roadsters on it are rusted, like seized on there. You're gonna we had to cut them off to put on rollers, but it's full on mural there was this guy that was huge in the scene. And he was notorious for muraling out a whole vehicle named the Tramp. You probably don't know him because he's kind of an old school guy. He passed away not a while ago, but it had that on it. He's like, the only reason why I did this because it was trade work for a job, and that guy had it and everything. And I was gonna take it, but I'm like, you know what, man, this needs to be restored and brought back to the scene. So eventually somebody got it, and they're supposed to be bringing it back. But I'm like, man, I wish BF Goodrich would bring back the TA, bro. Remember those tires on the Lowrider Euros? That was like iconic, bro.
I had a '79
Yeah.
Toyota Corolla hatchback wagon.
There you go.
So that's where my love started. Really was with
Yeah.
imports.
Those are drift cars now,
You
dude.
know,
That's a trip.
And I'm going. To me, I said I graduated to the American muscle, and you know, I started with the old Corolla wagon. We would put wires on them and drive them out, and you know, cruise the strip. No hydraulics, just static drop. You know, we made sure this shit went fast.
Yeah.
But that's about it. And we were stupid with 415s in the trunk, so we couldn't put people in the back seats. You know,
Dude, I remember the bass scene.
but that's where we started, right?
Yeah,
it was big back then. You know?
Yeah, heck yeah, dude.
And I got my first taste in Jersey, and like I told you, my cousin's ex-husband that had Lethal Weapon was building lowriders. So every once in a while, man, he's cruising down Blackwell Street going.
I'm curious, how did he end up with Lethal Weapon?
So I
know?
guess he was good friends with them, you know, and
Really?
he was Hydro Toys was
Okay.
his brand name, and a lot of people still know him in the industry and stuff.
All right,
you know? But he was always in Cali. Him and his brother. His brother's got a dope car, and unfortunately it's just stripped right now, getting done. But you know, these guys did their homework. They went to Cali. They met all these guys. They were guys that for us, we were idolizing in Dover, right? Because they're the only people bringing the Cali to us.
Yeah.
You know, and they had some really badass cars.
Yeah, I always tripped out because I know that, like, the whole East Coast, especially that section right there, like, there's not a lot of people that have vehicles because most people, they'll use transits or they'll use cabs and things of that sort.
Right.
Because parking is ridiculous. And not many people have vehicles. But the car scene over there is pretty heavy, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know Marvin from
yeah,
Drastic.
oh yeah, Drastic, yeah.
Dude, Marvin's been
Dude, I
doing
thought
it.
that was he went by Drastic, bro.
Yeah, no.
I was like, when I
it's
first met
his
him,
club,
what's up,
bro.
Drastic? It goes, hey,
So Marvin, shout out, brother.
Yeah.
Listen, I remember as a kid, we would all be, they were it. They would come with their crazy custom import stuff, chopped freaking Suez. I mean, they did everything.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, people don't know. Marvin's done a lot of stuff in the lowrider community. You know, I mean, Double
You can
Trouble's
tell,
glass and all that stuff. I
his
mean,
builds are tight, dude.
Marvin is a very respected guy in our area, and actually he's very respected outside of our area. You know, in Cali and all that stuff. You know, because he really in the 90s, you know, late 90s, we had English Town, we had Lowrider magazine coming. You know, people don't realize Jersey had the Lowrider tour stop, which that was big for us. You know, and the guys that couldn't afford that 64, 63, you know, the bubble tops and the Manis and all that, like us, because we were still so young, you know, we had our imports on wires sticking out, freaking. They look
like frogs.
They look like skate decks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
They look like 13x7s on a front wheel drive freaking Honda.
Oh man, that
you know?
Suspension! I felt so bad for seeing those.
Dude.
Like, oh my god, those CV axles are tore up.
Right, dude. You turn the corner, and you click, 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 click. But honestly, that's all we could afford at the time.
Well, yeah, bro, that was
You
the
know?
scene too. It looked good.
It looked good, and it became a trend, right? Where for us it became a trend, and I call it graduating, right? The older you got, all right, now I got a square body, 4-door Caprice. All right, I cruised the hell out of that thing, put some, everything had wheels. It didn't matter what it was. It could have been a minivan. Shit had wheels, you know? Then you start seeing certain guys in our town, now they got a little money. They come out with their nice little 66 because it was a little cheaper to buy or whatever, and they found a barn find, which wasn't a barn find then. It was still a cheap car. You know, the older cars are still getting cheap, you know? And my uncle, hardcore, man. My uncle, he had, you know, so many cars growing up, and I'll never forget going into the garage and going, Dio, one day I'm going to own one of those, you know? And then having one of my other uncles, 70 Chevelle, that my brother still has to this day. He bought it from my uncle. That's how hardcore we were all into cars, you know?
That's tight.
And I mean, I don't know if you guys ever heard of Les Dunham.
Can't say I did. I might have, but
All right, so if you guys have a chance, check him out. He was the pimp
oh yeah,
of the caddies, the I think Counts Customs just did one of his cars over,
Okay.
and Les Dunham was doing some wild stuff over in Jersey. He's still in Jersey. He
Okay.
gave me an award, and him and Sonny Crone, and I was humbled by that, dude, because they were guys that I stepped out and go, oh my God, like a little kid going, damn, these guys are badass, right? These are Jersey guys.
Yeah.
You know, and they used his cars for movies and all sorts of stuff.
Tight.
Dunham Coach Works. You know, and it's crazy how much history we do have in the New York, PA, Jersey area that people don't know. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know, the fads are there. It's just we weren't really that in your face.
Yeah.
You know? But Les Dunham did my uncle's car. And goddamn, I'll never forget going into, or my father's uncle, I should say, going into the garage, and it was a Coliseum car. It traveled all over the place.
Wow.
And his son has it now. It was a '66 Impala,
Really?
all patterned with the old crazy lacquer paint job, and
Dude.
you know the original cobwebbing, the oh my God, the blowouts. I mean, the stuff they were doing, which we're bringing now back to the table.
You
Like
got
I always
access
tell,
to that vehicle still?
no, they stripped the car, man.
No way. You got pictures though?
I don't have nothing.
Nobody of
The
that?
son that took it, I think he has all the pictures.
Dude, if you could score some of
You
those,
know,
that'd be dope. I'd love to see him.
I think I can hit Les Dunham because I become real good friends with him, and that car sat in the garage for goddamn like 20, 30 years, and he wanted it. He had brought me over, my father's uncle, to his house to want me to restore it, and I was like, dude, we gotta strip it and start over.
Yeah.
But I can get you back to that paint.
But it was a lacquer though, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was still just flake and candy.
Yeah. But
You
I'm
know,
saying like lacquer paint jobs, they
it was
hold
cracked.
up, but they start to
It was
crack.
cracked.
You know,
It's shown his age.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean, that car was
It's
a
sad.
Coliseum car at the time. And back then, the Coliseum shows were where you made your
Mhm.
name. You know, where now it's just like the Grand National Russell Show would consider that, but it's not really that, right?
What? Yeah.
I don't know, but they used to explain to me, like, for you to be successful, you had to win the top prize at the Coliseum
Yeah.
when you travel, and you had to follow that. You know,
It's like a circuit,
that
right?
circuit,
Yeah.
right. And I think it's still the same to an extent, right? Like everybody's at the Grand National Roaster Show. What are they going after?
Oh yeah, the roaster award.
The
bro.
Roaster Award, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's the same with
Riddler.
the Riddler.
Yeah.
You know, you're building that car. That's your arena.
You know what's a trip, man? Because those are all winners. You know, I mean, it's like if you get second place at one of those awards, you're like,
It's a big deal.
still freaking bomb,
It's a big
bro.
deal.
Yeah.
You know.
You know, it's amazing, man. The caliber of that work.
And there's one thing that I've always said with lowriders. They can go to any show and compete. They don't realize that the mix with the hot rodders, all them Riddler cars and stuff like that, you put a well-done lowrider there.
Yeah.
Think about the detail that some of these guys put their heart and soul into these lowriders.
I tripped.
Just like the hot rodders.
Yeah, I tripped out because Click's got a car out here that Chino owns, man, and it's dude, the ingenuity that they put on that thing, the doors will open on its own. Its hydraulic setup elevates, bro, out of the trunk. The trunk opens up on its own, and I'm like, that's ingenuity like you would not believe, dude. And it's all by remote, and I'm like, whoa, and it's functional.
Right.
He drives that thing.
That's crazy. and that to me is like, see, that's where you separate yourself from the norm.
Yeah.
You know,
And I started seeing the crossover too. You know, it's like, remember back in the day, people were wanting like, you know, wrinkle tuck, you know,
oh yeah,
and like you know, biscuit tuck,
biscuit tuck, the
all
button
this,
tuck, all
yeah,
that,
the mirrors,
the
stuff
crush,
like that.
Crush velvet.
Now you're seeing all these lowriders, and you couldn't tell a good guy's interior from a lowrider interior now. You know, you're seeing all these molded in, like, you know, center consoles and all that stuff, and it looks dope and everything. Yeah. But I'm starting to see that wrinkle tuck coming back.
Oh yeah,
dude. And it's
absolutely.
a trip because I'm like, whoa! I just did a lowrider bike, this week and stuff, and it had biscuit tuck in it.
Right.
I was like, this is cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's cool to see trends come back.
Yeah, no joke.
You know, and honestly, you know, I mean, look, from back in the day to now.
Mm-hmm.
we ain't inventing the wheel.
Oh no.
Right? We're not inventing the wheel. What we're doing is adding to that wheel.
Oh yeah. No joke.
We're putting our personal touch to that wheel, right? We're not. We're and there's guys out there that are actually taking that wheel, mashing it up, and creating their own wheel.
Yeah, pushing things forward.
Pushing things to that next level. And that progression, right?
Mm-hmm.
And without progression, we wouldn't be here. Because all of us have done something to add to the community.
You guys are here with the Lowrider show. You guys are part of that now? Or
Yep. We
how's that
sponsor, right, Gilbert?
To answer your question, yes. So the last year and this year, we've partnered up with Lowrider Magazine to do the tour. So last year was our first time doing it, and it was good. It was eye-opening for a lot of, I think, a lot of builders that were still asking some questions they didn't have answers to.
Well, quick, just to clarify.
Yeah.
Which Lowrider is it?
Okay. Yes.
We have to bring that up now, unfortunately, but
we do. But I mean, in that regard, we had some conversations about that today, and I think for us, we try to support as much lowrider scenes or scenes in general from wherever we are.
Okay.
So we've done stuff with, the Anaheim Takeover Show.
Cool.
We've been to that. It's a huge show out in Anaheim. We've done Impala's Magazine. We've done Ventura Show. We've done a lot of different shows, especially across the country. We've done a lot of them. We've done some in the Midwest, done in the North Midwest. I don't know what you call it up there, the UP area, Michigan,
Michigan,
right? The Southeast. We've done them all. Now this is the first time we've sponsored a full complete tour, which is with Lowrider Magazine. So Lowrider Magazine, as you know, has been established for a very long time. And there were a number of things they had in their sponsorship package that were good for both of us, right, on both sides.
Okay.
Because ultimately, we bring some notoriety to them. They bring, obviously, the notoriety to us. And it was a very good partnership, something that's expanded and grown this year and really opened up the door for more stuff with them. So it's been good for both of us, and we're happy to be back with them this year and doing it again for the tour.
I think it's a perfect symbiotic relationship because, I mean, I remember back in the day, the only custom paint that I really was familiar with was Candy Apple, but that was limited on what you had. And then out of nowhere, House of Color, the Scarab, bro, I can remember that as far as back as I remember, actual, seeing paint bills, I'm like, whoa, what's this about and everything. I thought it was like Egyptian. I was like, Egyptians doing this stuff, it's like, is this what kind of company is this? And then I'm like, okay, it's been around forever, and it's one of the few ones that I know still that has a urethane formula that's 100%. There's no waterborne to it and everything, and it's been consistent, and it's been proven over the years.
Tested, tried, beat up, brought up.
The thing about that, so as you're bringing that up, 1956. It's not the same company it was in 1956.
Oh
right?
no, everybody
iterations, right?
Yeah,
evolution of it all, but.
Yeah.
What's interesting about what you're saying is like me and Munch were actually in, I think it was San Antonio or Albuquerque last year, and we had a gentleman come up to us and told us, "Man, I love your guys' paint. It's on my car." Mm-hmm. We get that a lot, right? A lot of guys.
Oh, yeah.
That long, you got a lot of people that have built cars.
I've had people request, can you use House of Color?
Right. Right. And so this gentleman walks up to us, and we hear that through the shows, and then he turns his head and he points to the side of his head.
Oh yeah, that was Albuquerque.
Was it Albuquerque?
Hey, I wear a hat for a reason, dog. No, that's to keep the sun off. There's no sun in here, bro.
Right.
But
it was cool.
He had the scarab tattooed on the side of his head.
Tattooed on the side of his head.
And
full color?
Full color. Yeah, full color scarab. Yeah.
He went in, bro.
Speaking of the scarab, did you guys want to talk about that? Because we were talking about that scarab earlier, because you guys have a design that's coming out for this show.
Yep.
Right.
So do you want?
Yeah. So again, to your point, I mean, the scarab is recognized.
Oh yeah.
We could put the scarab on something, and somebody would see the scarab right away and be like, oh, it's House of Color. Right? Yeah. They immediately identify it. So last year for SEMA, we actually were able to contact a number of artists, and that's one thing. Obviously, Munch, as you've heard, he has a lot of contacts as well. So we've been doing this for quite some time, and so we were able to reach out to all these artists, and we had 54 artists come through. Over 50 artists.
Over 50
right?
artists.
Wow, that's cool, man.
And they all donated pieces of art. Now, some of them did just some unique stuff just to show off their own talent. Others actually did a play on the Scarab or some play on House of Color. So this year, as we were lining up the new tour, the Legacy Tour with Lowrider Magazine, we said, okay, what can we do to really help, bring some attention to these artists? And that ultimately, that's our goal is really to show that we give a tool, right? That's House of Color is a tool that artists use to accomplish something.
Mm-hmm.
I know we were talking about this earlier, and it's like there's a number of options out there. And our goal is to be an option, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to bring the tool that gets a job done from start to finish. And that's ultimately what we're trying to do. And we know there's pockets, right? There's trends. We always talk about this roller coaster of colors, in many cases.
Oh, yeah.
These colors are hot this year. These colors are not hot next year. That kind of thing goes on. And so there's always some void for something to be filled.
Mm-hmm.
And so for House of Color, we always our goal is to obviously have everything we can have available, but we know there's times when things come up. So our artists are not, 100% all of us. Our artists will use different media and different stuff and create and we did a class in LA Trade Tech last year, and we asked everybody to raise their hand. Who's in the collision industry? One person raised their hand, and I think a uncle or something was involved.
Something like that.
Everybody else there was artists.
Oh yeah,
people were creating art, and so it was very cool for us because we're like, hey, this is what you guys want to do. This is what you see your future to be. We want to encourage that, right? And we want to help build that, so that was a big part of that. Now, what we've come into now at this point is an iteration of showing that art.
Okay.
So now we're doing these shirts that are essentially our artist edition. So we've partnered up with some of our artists. So we've got a number of ones that reached out. One was just recently put on Instagram that's doing his, and his piece of artwork is actually a Polynesian style.
Mm-hmm.
It's still the scarab itself is very accurate, but he did some Polynesian design inside of the scarab. And, a lot of people love it. People seen it. They have identified it. And so we said, look, that was a piece of art you had at our booth in SEMA. We're now making that a shirt. And just to identify that, he's going to get his logo on the patch on the arm.
Want to give him a shout out?
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Sonny the artist. Yeah.
Shout out to Sonny.
The artist. Yeah, Sonny.
Great artist.
Hey, I want my money, buddy.
Yeah,
Great dude.
Sonny's a great guy. And again, a long-time House of Color user. And we get that a lot when guys are like, oh, man, House of Color. We get many requests, and it sucks because we have so many people. You have to let some down. Hey, I want to put I want to put my car in your booth. I want to put my bike in your booth. I want to have my art. Next time you guys do SEMA, I want to have my vehicle in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things come up, and it's a lot. And it's cool to have all those. And then unfortunately sometimes you have to get the people that are just like, oh, damn it.
Well, I mean, I remember this. Airbrush Action was a big magazine, but I remember they used to have the House of Color Award in there, and that's no longer available and stuff. But I mean, is there anything like that still going on to where House of Color recognizes these people and showcases their work?
Well, no.
Okay.
Unfortunately, not at
Short
this
answer.
moment.
Short answer.
I mean, if you're working with Lowrider's not even a magazine anymore.
Yeah, we've had iterations of it,
Yeah.
And we've tried to look at different ways to do it. We recently came out with a calendar. 12-month calendar that does highlight, again, 12 vehicles.
Okay.
Lowrider Magazine recently came out with their calendar as well, and then they're doing a calendar that's kind of showcasing 12 months. You don't get to identify everybody, but it's kind of bringing the attention back to the art, if you will.
Right.
Okay. They're
identifying vehicles that deserve recognition, and are highlighting those. So I mean, I think in that case, yes. In the case of artists, though, and that's what I was trying to get at, is that obviously with the lowrider scene, it's very much car builders. But I think for us, artists across the board are all kinds of different media.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's not just a vehicle. That's one thing that's really cool. These stories about Javier, they're just so classic. But the one we were at Hogs and Heifers in Vegas last year as well was the what event was that?
That was the Hogs and Heifers. It was the Hogs and Heifers.
Okay,
Yep.
Hogs and
In
Heifers,
Vegas.
just okay.
Yeah.
It's their show.
It's their show.
But they had so many artists out there airbrushing.
Dude, that was the
and
most
daring.
I've seen, dude.
Mickey
Yeah, that was
Harris.
a
The
lot
trip.
of people. Yeah.
Yeah, Spock, we know you were out there too.
Were you there? Did I miss something? Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. I remember grabbing him, giving him a big old hug.
Le Bondago style? No.
Oh, we gotta watch out there. Bondago.
Shout out to Bondago.
What up?
Always entertaining.
Hell yeah. Love you, buddy.
But I think what's really cool about that and what we try to do now, I think at this point, we've really tried to bring attention to, I think, a culture that loves colors. We were talking about, like we were having that story earlier about the amount of color that's out there. And really, House of Color has always had bright, vibrant, pigmented colors by design. John Kosmosky, when he first invented House of Color, that was his goal.
The founder right there, man.
The founder, yes. Shout out to John.
Damn right.
Obviously, that again, the idea here was that we don't have any oxide. So I'm a collision painter.
Okay.
So I came from the collision side. So for me, red oxides, yellow oxides, these are things about hitting OEM colors, right? And House Color's not about that. We're about pure, vibrant, colors that stick out and are noticeable. And so we see a lot of that now with airbrush artists. We see that now with just, helmet artists. There's so many people out there just doing helmet art.
I mean, simple media, like we were talking about earlier with the Fox finishes and all that stuff that people are doing on vases and stuff, and they're using all sorts of products. The House of Color, not even. I mean, I'm talking about as in red. They're doing stuff with all sorts of urethanes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's cool to see, how this has impacted.
Yeah, what do you see now more than ever? Everyone with their coffee cups, right?
The tumblers.
The tumblers.
Yeah,
right?
That's the other one that's become popular. It's like, it's like if it sits still long enough, a custom painter will mess with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like you need durability, and as much as waterbornes come across, is like, throughout the decades of advancement, it's still not as durable as a urethane. You still need a urethane top coat on that sucker if you want it to last.
Right.
Urethane undercoat.
Yeah.
Urethane undercoat. Yeah.
That totally makes a big difference.
Well, so I got a story for you. I
Go for it.
I got to tell a story.
Go for it, bro.
I was talking about it earlier. We do a lot of classes, and by we, I mean a lot of our partners do classes. So
like SNK.
SNK.
There we go, Steve.
So yeah.
Steve, what up, Steve?
559, baby.
Yep.
I don't know about that number, but it might be a good lotto number.
Bicep, bro. I mean, I grew up there. I grew up there.
Steve's a good dude, bro.
So Steve's one of these guys that does a class that he invites everyone out to. So he loves Steve educates, man. He's that dude. I mean, he's by far one of the best guys I've ever met, because he does it because he wants to share the information. He's passionate about it. He just
exactly.
He's all that thing tied into one. And so Steve always does a class, and he does a class that's free. And
that's a trip.
Yeah.
That is a trip, because nobody I know does that.
But you know what? Why? And I've heard him, and I've had numerous conversations with him, and it's because of the love, and he don't want it.
Yeah.
To just go.
He doesn't
away.
need to do that.
No, he doesn't.
The dude's successful.
The dude. Look, Steve doesn't need to worry about doing a free class, right?
Nope.
But and also to his point, look at the kids he's letting come in to do those bikes.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. I grew up there, so I can speak on this. I grew up in that Visalia area, and I'm talking about the whole Tulare County and stuff. And I seen the whole scene. There's so much talent there that just went unseen. Mm-hmm. From Hollywood John, to like now you have, I remember Alberto Herrera, one of the best airbrushers around. I remember when he was airbrushing T-shirts at our local flea market. Yeah. Everybody has a beginning there, But I mean, there's been people that have gone in and out and stuff. But Steve, man, is like, you know what? I seen him just. I didn't grow up around him. I didn't know him. So, but I said, like, this dude's from Visalia. What trip out? Finally, somebody's throwing somebody else throwing it on the map from Visalia, and I was like, this is so cool. And then I'm like, he's throwing a class. I'm like, I should go over there, go check it out. Just check out the hood, again. And I'm like, dude, he's doing it for free. I was like, no way, dude.
Which is commendable, bro.
Yeah.
Think about it, because like, I mean, look, there's a lot of them out there now.
Yeah,
right.
And it's expensive to do those classes,
cheap.
man. And he provides everything.
Well,
right?
Not only that, but he shuts down the shop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's money.
It's
time.
expensive.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing right there. Yep. So it's like, shout out to Steve. Shout out for people with heart and to be able to give back. Yeah. And that's the one thing that I think this is the really biggest thing. If I ever wanted to like pass things on, it's like there's so many people that want to take in this industry. Gimme. What's the latest techniques? Remember the fish scales coming out? It's like, I want to do fish scales. Fingerprinting. Remember, I want to do fingerprinting. And it's like, what are you contributing, bro? Because you're just kind of like, following the trends. Mm-hmm. Bring something out, bro. That's not like what everybody else is doing. Everything, But there's a lot of people out there hungry and stuff. But when you find somebody that's willing to give out there for free, I was like, that's a rare commodity, bro.
And you're right. You don't hear that at all.
Yeah,
at all. Period.
That's very valuable, because I mean that's the one thing right there. I think you have to, in order for this industry to continue to grow, you have to have people like that willing to inspire.
Well, he inspires, and he inspires a group that loves to come back.
Yeah.
And one of that group is Joe G.
Oh, You said you're gonna come around to that.
I gotta come around to that because Joe.
Shout out to Joe G, the homie.
What up, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
He designed, the tumbler brought it back into my mind, but Joe's getting down to some tumblers right now. But so one of our last classes that we had there at SNK, we all go out for dinner, and I came back just after this, but
okay.
Did Joe come from the dinner? Only?
Joe was there definitely for the dinner. Right? He definitely was there for the dinner.
Where'd you guys go?
But it was I want to remember the name of the place, but it was one of those steak places.
Okay.
So what's Kohan Luke's maybe? Kohan Luke's out there?
No. Well, I don't know if they have one over there.
Yeah, they got one just south. I think it's like in Tulare.
Really?
Yeah. Just
okay,
south,
I think they do now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's where it was.
The last time I remember going to one was Santa Maria.
Yeah. There's one out there as well.
Yeah.
But so I'm pretty sure that's where we were.
I remember now. Yeah, they do have one.
I come back to the table and everyone was just rolling, right? Everyone was just like, they're all dying, and I'm like, what the heck, man? What did I miss, right? And Joe's face is just bright red, man. He's
really?
Like, man,
I gotta know,
man. What the heck did I say? So what's going on, guys? What's going on?
Is it like 49er red?
Yeah, before or after the Super Bowl?
I think it was after.
Before or after? Yeah.
No, that was their ass.
Oh, damn. Okay, no 49er hate. No 49er hate.
I'm not even a Chiefs fan. Go Chiefs anyway.
But so from what I gathered from the group, Joe didn't think this was a bad idea, and of course Joe knows he's going to get stuff for this for like the next 10 years easily. I think people started sending him pictures of a skinny chick with a fat chick because he tells the waitress, you look like the waitress we had last time, and she goes, really? He goes, no, but she was skinny.
Oh,
and everyone goes, damn, Joe, she's gonna go spitting our food. So Joe.
Damn, Joe.
Letting girls know, hey, it's nothing we want to differentiate more than your size from one another because that's always good when you're getting food served to you.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, good old Joe.
Joe, we got nothing but love for you, bro.
Dude, Joe's awesome.
Yeah,
Joe's awesome.
But no, back to the classes. I mean, really, honestly, it is great that Steve does that, and I think that we do definitely need more, like Munch is saying, to see that. We do classes as well.
Okay, now,
but it's so different.
House of Color does classes where?
Well, we do house classes, house color classes. It depends on what we're trying to accomplish.
Right.
So like we obviously do classes at our Reno Training Center, which are company affiliated training centers.
Is that where House of Color is based out of now, or
no? We have 5 training centers across the country. So we have Reno, Nevada. We have Dallas. Okay. We have Atlanta. We have Philadelphia and Chicago.
Okay.
But no, our main hub is out of Ohio.
All right.
And then of course we branch out from there. But the training generally is by demand. So depending what we're trying to accomplish, it could be just a product knowledge class. It could be a custom class. It could be classes that Munch, does a lot of our classes in the field. We'll go and do classes like we'll talk about LA Trade Tech, things like that we've done.
So it's like when you come out with a new product, so like when you guys switched over to the Shimmer 2 line, right?
Yep, Shimmer 2. That's a big question right now. A lot of guys want to know, what's this, and I always try to break it down as saying this is Shimmer 1, right? This is packaged, ready to go product. Shimmer 2 is essentially saying, here's Shimmer 2, and what we've done is taken everything this one product uses to make one product and broke it up. And they say, yeah, but why did you do that? Now I have to mix these 3, to make this one. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, yes, but you can only make this one with this color. Now, what can I do with these 3? Well, these 3, I can bring in 2 more, and I can create more colors. So Shimmer 2 is really about breaking down the product and making it more customizable.
Okay.
And so the guys that are more creative,
there's more control.
There's more control. How much of this do I want to add in? How much of that do I want to add in, right? Because this is already set. This is made.
Yeah.
And some guys like it. Some guys obviously are okay with that. But other guys are like, man, I just want to open the can
and go.
And I just go. Right. Yeah. And then the guys that are more creative, the guys are like, yeah, I like to come up with my own colors. And we have a lot of guys like that do that now. In distribution, SNK, Steve does it. Mm-hmm. He has a bank, E-Dog. Shout out to E-Dog, Eric, Rashad.
Yeah, E-Dog's dope, dude.
Yep.
I've never met him. I've seen his work. I see it. His truck's freaking sick. Every time I see it, I was like, I know he's around here, but I'm like, I don't know who he is.
I'll be honest, I got to meet him and freaking most down to earth dude, man. We had a blast. Him and Steven were at the what show was it? Vegas together.
Right on. And he was at Grand Nationals, right? His truck was there, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know who he is.
He's a good dude.
Very good.
Real chill, real down to earth. Yeah, absolutely a cool dude right there.
But yeah, so we try to break that down in a classroom setting because a lot of times guys, need to see it in front of them.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of classes that Munch participates in as well. And then of course we partner up with some artists. Right now we're doing a class coming up in April with custom paint artistry. Is that what they go by? They're doing a graphics class and a pinstripe class.
Who's involved with that class? Like, who's doing that?
So right now we have Mando Serrano from Reno.
Yeah.
Bugs.
Okay.
From here.
Where are they doing the class at?
It's in Reno.
In Reno? Okay.
This one's going to be the first one we're putting out.
This is the one that he was talking about. It's going to be in his hometown finally. Okay, yeah, okay.
So,
shout out to Mondo.
That's
all we have to say. Shout out.
That's it, bro.
Enough said.
I think there's Gold World. He's badass.
Who?
I think he goes by Gold World.
Gold World?
Yeah. Darren.
Yeah,
Darren.
I probably know who it is.
Stockwell, I think it is. He does lettering, and he's
if he's with that crowd, he's got to be dope.
He's good, dude.
Yeah.
He's a.
I probably seen it, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that dude.
And I think, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan Fontaine, dude.
Dan.
Can't forget Dan, bro.
FPS, bro.
baby.
The Canadian connection right there.
Oh, he lives around the border.
And don't get it twisted. Don't get it
pull him
twisted.
down.
Our bacon is better.
It's not bacon, it's ham, dog.
It's ham, son. I'm telling you.
Don't ever get it
I
twisted.
have that argument all the time. But no, them four, there's a lot of experience there.
Yeah, definitely, man.
And they're gonna give you. Look, I was with them at the Shorties class in Texas, and I saw firsthand. I know what they bring to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's no question with that, man. You can see there's their body of work.
Yeah, and these guys, have a plan. You're going to their class. You're everybody's doing their thing. Everybody leaves there with their panels done because they have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
They're working. They want you to maximize the most of your time there.
There you go.
Well, I think the thing about the training centers and obviously Mondo and these guys, we've done a lot of work with a lot of different artists over the years. This is the first time we've done something in-house, if you will, at a training center.
Mm-hmm.
But there's 8 of me across the country. There's 2 of Munches.
You have 8 brothers?
Yeah, I got 8 brothers. Yeah, 8 brothers. I got a Canadian brother. If you haven't met Jerry yet, you love Jerry. So you know Jerry. So you know Jerry, right?
Listen, me and Jerry
drove
across country.
No.
Who was that?
That was Joe.
That was Joe? Okay.
Yeah, that's Joe.
That poor Jerry had to drive across country with me.
Oh, yeah?
Vegas to...
Thank you, Jerry.
Did he go all the way to...
I can't believe
he
drove there,
Vegas,
bro. That's crazy.
And
the weather was nuts, right?
Actually, it was nice, dude.
Was it that time?
I mean, I think what was nuts is our 3 days we made it back home with 8 hours of sleep, I think it was.
Oh, my God. I couldn't even
imagine. And Jerry was a trooper, bro. Jerry sat there. I'm good? And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, shoot.
I'm good.
Just sprinkle him with water.
Jerry, love you, buddy. And to this day, he goes, I'm never doing that again with you.
Yeah, I bet.
And then Tom had the same story because Tom drove out with me. And Tom's like, he didn't even stop for me. I'm like,
wow.
He kept saying, Chewy's. No, we're going.
What's Chewy's?
A restaurant he likes.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's like those regional places, like Buc-ee's.
Yeah, right.
I had to learn about what a Buc-ee's is.
Buc-ee nuts, bro.
And we're supposed to be getting one. And I'm like, no way, bro.
Buc-ee's is awesome.
Yeah, I've never been to a Buc-ee's.
Shout out to Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
Dude, the first time I had Buc-ee's, I was like, this ain't a freaking. This is a crazy store. Like, it's not even.
It's like a Walmart,
a super Walmart,
but like on steroids, right?
We worked in the show in San Antonio. And we lived in Texas for 3 years with the company, and so I told Munch, I go, I know there's a Buc-ee's around here, so he's like, let's go, man. I want to get the kids some stuff. So we drove. I think it was like New Braunfels where we wound up going, and so we drove a little minute outside of town.
Nice.
And we walked in. Munch is just like, wow.
Like remember the Griswolds when they got to Wally World?
I was like, the Griswolds.
That place looks like it. I mean, it's got that beaver up in the front, dude.
I was like, oh. It's a whole new world.
Oh man, that was the trip, man.
But yeah, no. So we got a guy in Texas.
Right on.
We got a guy in Florida, and so they make a lot of the same relationships that we try to have out here in the West.
Cool.
With my situation, our story about Steve and SNK, right?
Yeah.
We have our guys in Florida, our guy in Texas, our guy in Ohio, our guy in the Northeast, Joe in Vegas, or a guy in Jerry up in Canada.
Mhm.
Which again, Canada's lowrider scene is very strong as well. So
Yeah.
shout out to the guys in Canada.
Now, like internationally, are you guys affiliated with anybody? Like Australia, I know they got a scene.
Yep.
New Zealand does.
Yep, Australia.
Yeah.
We got, and again, we talked earlier about the Scarab and House of Color, and our demand is worldwide. So we definitely have distribution that goes cross borders.
Mhm.
We're down to Mexico, South America. Australia is a big hub for us. Actually,
Okay.
I distribute a lot. We're talking about Japan because that's on the tour this year. So I might be going
guys
with
gonna go?
Munch. Let me rephrase that. Munch might be going with me.
Oh,
because
shoot.
Hold on.
got
Can you
room for one
rewind
more?
that? Can
You
you
got room for
rewind that?
one
Can you
more?
rewind that? I want
I'll
to
pay
hear that
something
again.
for you guys.
What did you say?
I said Mike. I said Mike.
No, you said who?
It's,
Munch.
You guys heard it there.
Munch Mike.
if I change my name to Munch, does that make it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Possibility?
Hey, look, you gotta grow some.
Yeah.
I can, and like I said,
Look,
it's a
give
shower
me
curtain,
some.
bro. It's a shower curtain.
But yeah,
You
so
gotta, I'll give you some.
the distribution, even in Eastern Europe, we've
Yeah.
always had strong distribution out there. Japan for us has been, like as you guys mentioned,
Mhm.
the culture, the way the builds have been happening. The builders out there are just blowing up. So our distribution has as well.
Okay.
And we do a lot of distribution from California to Japan and Australia also to Japan.
Mhm.
So we're just going to go over there and just kind of.
And it's not just limited to those, right? I mean, Hawaii has a scene, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I never like Guam.
Well, so yes, I got a story.
You
for
know?
that. So
Indonesian.
about 10 years ago, I'm on the island in Guam.
Mhm.
Half a day. I always say it wrong. Half a day to all my chamorros out there in Guam. But
There you go.
I still remember we're out doing some training, and this was just regular collision paint.
Mhm.
But we're doing some training with the shops, and a guy comes up, and he's got a little hard body, a little Nissan hard body.
Nice.
Painted it, yeah. Not Oriental, tangerine.
Okay.
Candy tangerine.
Mhm.
And the dude was like in love with it. He just wanted to show everybody how this House of Color paint job was holding up on the island. You know, islands, man, the sun is constantly beating it, right?
No
It's
joke.
Constantly beating it.
The
And,
seawater.
everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And but the guy was totally in love with this truck. It wouldn't have passed the bodywork side of it, but the color was popping, and in the sun out there, it was beautiful. So yeah, shout out to all my boys.
I
out
mean,
there.
it's a worldwide brand.
Well,
And at the end of the day-
let's talk about that for a minute. Like being a worldwide brand, you guys been with the company for a while. What's the coolest thing you've seen people use House of Color for, or how they used it, or like the coolest techniques, or like something like you're like, wow, I never thought we could use our product for that.
So another guy in your area, out in Patterson, right there. Stone Cold, right? And what he's getting into Porterville.
Yeah, okay.
Area, Porterville.
Yeah.
I'd say some of the stuff he's coming out with has been pretty insane.
Okay.
Still using all House of Color. I mean, obviously very artsy, right, in terms of what he's doing.
It's
with it
Adam
now.
Stone. Shout out to Adam Stone.
What up, Adam?
I like Stone Cold better.
That's a wrestler move. Like, to
Sorry.
me, I always
Give
hear
a stunner.
Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, give
a stunner, bro.
Sorry, Adam. We're gonna edit that. Can we edit that part? I don't want to call him Stone
Nope,
Cold.
this is raw, dog.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Adam, hey, being associated with Stone Cold, that's still cool in my book. But yeah.
No, but he does go by Adam Stone Cold.
Yeah. So, but he does do obviously a lot of great work, artist work that I think is really unique. And like I said, when we go to classes and we're meeting these young artists, these younger generation, and that's something that they're trying to incorporate. That's cool, and I like to see that. So it's always going to come back to a car. I think at the end of the day, all these artists, whether they're tattoo guys that get into airbrush or airbrush guys get into tattoo, I always seem like it's full circle. It always seems like they're going to come right back into it, and it's just their artistic way of jumping to different medias, right? It may be skin today, and it might be a car tomorrow. But I think we just continue to encourage that.
Right.
There you go.
And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing it a lot more and more and more.
What's that?
The stained glass effect, how they're doing it on all these custom
talking about where they
painted
get
panels, right?
The black hard line, and then they just fill it in with the candy color.
Right.
Okay.
And I remember seeing, I don't know if you guys know Franny, he did a whole tank. Badass. And I remember seeing that. And then I think this year at SEMA there was that dude with that panel.
Oh yeah,
And
at
with
the
silver,
Jewelers.
and it looked
Yeah,
like
the
he
Jewelers
had
booth.
it, I see these guys using our colors for all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and how they're taking the silver, throwing a little line with a little Scotch Brite to give it a little texture, and simple things like that, and you go, that's using a lot of color if you think about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just love to see that.
Was he set up on one of those easels?
Yeah, he was set up at the Chuler's booth.
Oh,
yeah,
the Truders?
yeah, it was
At the
Chuler's
Truders.
booth.
Oh, okay. It wasn't at the other booth with the blue setups that had the.
Well, he was kind of walking around with it,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he did hang it up eventually.
Yeah.
The coolest one I saw was Jim Hensler's skate deck.
Oh,
Jim
yeah.
Hensler, yep.
That dude,
We
what
actually
he did with that chameleon and the half can,
Yep.
which I thought was a label he just threw on there,
Yep.
turned out to be hand painted.
Hey,
And then that chameleon that was just pouring out on that
Yep.
foam, I was like,
we got a shout
that
out.
is sick, dude.
Dude,
Kicking Color, Jim
Yeah,
Hensler,
man.
Kicking Color out
you
there.
know, I've known Jim Hensler for
I've
quite
never
a minute.
met him either, but like
And-
that board right there for me, like that put like House of Color in my brain and it just forced it down my throat. And I was like, what the heck, dude?
Were you at the Takeover show?
No.
We had that in our booth.
Word?
Yeah, we had it.
Dang
in our
it.
booth. Yeah.
Dang. That would have been cool to see that in person, bro.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Look, Jim is, I mean, he's been around quite some time, you know. There's
Yeah.
a lot of these guys, you know, that have been around doing it quite some time. And he was an influence for me in the sense where, you know, like you see something,
Yeah.
everybody, look, I love seeing art.
Mhm.
But I remember the first time I go to SEMA, I think it was the first time, maybe a couple years in, and they were doing, that was before I started really getting into the booths and doing booths and stuff. And he was holding a pinstripe class. And it's
Really?
me and Marvin and from Drastic.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Marvin, what the hell? Like, what are you doing here? He goes, I saw that we're going to do this. I figured, why not? So there's like 5 of us.
Mhm.
And we're all there like, and Jim's like, yep, let's start with this. Let's do this. And we're like, intimidating as hell. But he made it cool. We got it done, you know. And I think that was the year that they were just doing more pinstriping in the booth, right?
Okay.
And he was doing like a quick pinstriping demo, but he was using people from that signed up for it.
I'll tell you this. My coolest House of Color memory was 2016 SEMA. You guys had your 40th anniversary, and you had this big old number 40 out there. Like
Yeah,
somebody
I know where
constructed.
that's at.
And we all got to pinstripe it.
Yeah.
I
I
was
got
like,
videos of it right now that I just took
really?
3 weeks ago.
I was like, that is so
You know
cool.
who
'cause
got that?
everybody, no.
I think who's got it? Shorty.
Oh, yeah? He ended up with that? Dude, that had heavy hitters on there,
2016?
bro.
That would have been the 60th.
60th. That's the
60th?
60th.
Okay,
Yes,
40th. I'm
that's
sorry.
it. Yeah, it's the
That's like-
60th.
yeah.
So Shorty
Yeah.
has that
60.
in his
okay.
shop in Texas.
I do remember seeing that. We,
Yep.
we were
He
pointing
has
it out.
that, huh?
Yeah, dude, and it's cool to see because it's a whole bunch of artists on
Dude,
there. Bro.
yeah,
There's
bro.
some bad.
I remember Kolor was showing off because he was hitting a corner and he was doing the design on this side, and it was symmetried on this side. And I was like, man, dude, you're tall enough to hit that, you know? You know, I was like, but he was pulling it off clean, dude.
You know,
Hey, did we give a shout out to Shorty for that one?
dude, Shorty, love you, my brother. That dude right there is
We covered
as
all the
real as they
covering
come,
all the
dude.
shout outs.
You know, it's funny because like I said, like that dude, you know, he's taking me, like I go to Texas and,
Mhm.
yo, what's up, bro? You coming by or not? You know, like always calls me, you know, checks up on me. It's pretty neat, you know. I appreciate him a lot, you know. And he's done classes there too, you know, with all these guys. And he's willing to open up his shop. You know, he's another one. He don't have to do any of that, you know.
Yeah.
But
Right on. So now that you're with House of Color, I mean, what's in the future for you, man? As far as like, you know, your own personal career painting, you're gonna continue to do that, or you're gonna
never stop.
never
I'll
stop?
never
huh?
stop painting, man. Look,
And you got a shop over there in Jersey? or
I
what's
have
the-
my own personal shop, you know,
Okay.
and I have an art studio upstairs,
Cool.
which I can jam out in at any time's notice. You know, I can call Javier, be there, you know, whoever I want, you know, and just jam out. You know, I personally, it's hard for me to stop.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's like it's an addiction. You know, at the end of the day, we're all in this weird where if we stop, what do we do? Honestly, what are you gonna do if you stop?
You start painting something, bro.
Right. So you
You
never
start
gonna,
drawing something
right.
out, sketching,
you,
bro.
You know, you're never gonna stop.
No,
You know, I mean,
that's what I said. It's for those that stick in the game. It's because it's in them to do so.
dude, I don't care if it's a freaking.
And if it's not just paint, it's some type of media. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the correlation between graph writers, guys that used to, you know, get out with the spray cans,
So
get
what
down.
you're saying is this an addiction and House of Color is our dealer?
Hey, you're not supposed to be in this.
I don't know if you all know who's talking in the background. It's Spock.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's like, you know, it's just, to me, you know, graph writers, everybody I met, you know, almost everybody has some kind of experience with that in the paint game, you know, and if they haven't, they, you know, they acknowledge that, hey, you know, that's something that, you know, translated well over in you're talking about heavy hitters, bro. Danny was BSK, you know, OG Abel, WCA, you know, you know, and it's like, you know, even Javier, you know, user writers, you know, Pastrana.
Pastrana,
Yeah.
Alan.
And what about this guy?
We used to dabble in it because, you know, we were heavy influenced.
Oh, so you, I mean, it's a New York thing, bro.
Heavy influence.
I'll acknowledge that. Every writer does, bro.
I'm
it
sorry.
was born over. Now, tell me where it was born.
I
Was
mean,
it born in the Bronx or not?
I don't know. I'm from Jersey. Bro.
Okay. I just wanted your opinion.
I can't get into that battle, bro, because we were the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Right? But for us, for me, like, we would all get in on little, you know, on our bicycles, get on the train, you know, ride out, have a good time, travel the city. And we always had a can or two of Krylon.
Yeah.
Look.
See, I was going to say Krylon or Rust-Oleum. I just need to know.
Whatever you got, right?
Yeah.
And
I was a Krylon guy.
Right, we were all Krylon guys. And you know, there was guys out there, man, that we always just were like, these guys are killing this. They're like, it was always color.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why I think I'm so heavy into the color.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, we
Because
got an
to
OG
me-
legend here, SAR.
Yep.
TMB, right?
And see, that's the
That's
shit.
an OG,
that's what
bro.
people don't realize. Like,
Triple
these
OG.
guys, you know, like, you still drive by the city, and there's still tags out there from back the day.
It's crazy, bro.
And you
Cornbread,
go, how the hell
Taki,
did they get up there?
all those dudes.
How'd they get up there, right?
Yeah. It's nuts, man.
You know, and it was fun. It was cool. It was hip. You know, and think about it, Beach Street.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Wild Style, all that stuff. You know, like.
Yep.
That's all we watched. Like, that's what was in, like, breakdancing, the whole vibe, like, you know. And we were having a good conversation on this, you know, because that inspired a whole bunch of things.
Oh yeah, bro.
You know, graffiti, and to this day, it's prevalent in the industry.
It's worldwide now, bro.
Dude.
It is super world, and it's accepted now. That's what's the trip, bro.
Dude. I mean, even the art. Look, I'm driving this way to come here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Gilbert will tell you, I'm like, damn, bro, that's so sick. You know, like it's so artsy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as when you go into the city.
Yeah.
You know, you go down anywhere, you know, and you see something cool. You see some, you know, you might be driving around the corner. There's a portrait of Biggie.
Yeah.
Or Big Pun or whoever. You know, these are guys that are gone and stuff, but it's dope.
Yeah.
You know, and the lettering's always evolving. You know, it's just like anything. It's an evolution, right? You know, they've gone from the wild style lettering to the bubble letters.
Oh yeah, bro.
You know, every day there's changing, right?
Yeah, it's evolved so much.
Oh, I mean, and it's dope to me. You know, I'm a freaking monster fan of graffiti.
Yeah.
I used to mess around with it. You know, I mean, look, that's all we used to get into.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and been smacked up a couple times, busted and whatnot. You know.
You too?
Yeah. You know, nothing like running down the street and you're like, I can't run. I'm too fat. And all you hear is the evidence is in our backpack. But
Shoot.
you know, it was a dope time to grow up in.
Yeah, definitely, bro.
And,
I think it's a good rite of passage.
Yeah.
Stuff, you know, it did have his dark times
And
here on the
Alan,
West
man,
Coast.
Alan's a badass.
Oh,
you
Alan
know,
Pastrana?
Yeah,
He was
man.
there, man, and I was like, I didn't get to chop it up with him, you know, but I was like, you know, he's was a big inspiration.
Yeah,
too,
dude,
man.
I think he did that bike.
Yeah,
Remember
the
that was
graph
all,
bike.
Yep.
Yeah,
That
the
thing
one
was,
where he contorted it
yeah,
all,
dude, that thing was
vectorized
sick,
it all. I was
dude.
like, that was sick, dude.
Sick. You know, there's so many dope guys, you know, that from east to west, you know, that all have their
Oh yeah, definitely.
Damn, man, they're on their own platform, you know, doing their thing and
Speaking of platform, you got social media, right?
Yes.
What are you on, man?
I'm on all platforms, really. You know, I don't post enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm on Instagram and Facebook. And
So if
stuff
somebody
like
want to
that.
reach you, they can go through that.
Yeah, absolutely. I use my
Is
government name. you know. And personally, I only give out my government name
Okay.
when cops ain't looking for me.
That's funny, man.
But you know,
But,
a lot of
they
people
just
know me
look
as
under
Munch. A lot of people know me as Munch, but it's Juan Munch Gonzalez.
Okay, and that's on
That's
Instagram.
all one word.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, you can see some of what I've done,
Now,
and I do a lot of.
You got a House of
collabs.
Color page
Love
that you're on,
collabs.
or you have a personal page?
Well, we have our
Wanna
House
go-
of Color page.
And we do have our house.
Yeah,
Okay.
for Instagram and Facebook. Instagram is House of Color _ I believe, right? At
Yeah,
House
it's
of Color _
House of Color.
Yeah. and
underscore.
If they wanted to reach you directly, what would they go under?
You know, I don't know my social media.
Word?
No, not really. I mean, I'm
I
on
mean,
there.
he's incognito, man.
Munch tags me, so if you go to Munch's page, you're gonna
Yes.
pretty much find me.
There's a
so.
Gilbert Daniel.
Is it with that house? I don't know if that's how it's in there though.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I think it is, but I think there's something.
Well, it's
After.
gonna pop up a bunch of them.
Oh yeah.
But if you go to Munch's page, it'll
Well, if you
take you to his, right?
look up
Yeah, there you
to Juan Gonzalez, I had to put Munch in the middle because guess what? There's like 10,000 of us, bro.
More than that.
Yeah, no joke.
But, I mean,
Yeah.
we
At least you
probably
weren't a Garcia. That's the
have
most
populated.
Hispanic last name that's popularized.
True.
Seriously, they did a tally like how what's the most popular Hispanic last name or Latino last name,
Right.
and it's Garcia of all
Yeah,
of
no,
all things.
that's crazy.
That's wild, bro. I wouldn't have thought that, but I mean, I guess there is a lot of us out there.
Yeah.
I'm not a Garcia, by the way.
Yeah.
That I'm a
Oh,
Sanchez.
I thought it was Muhammad.
oh.
No.
That was a different. Poll.
I may look, from that area, maybe. I don't know. It's wild.
Hell
But
yeah.
what's in the future for House of Color, man? You guys want to?
Well, we just
give us-
launched. We just launched the Chameleons again.
Yeah, I seen that, man.
Yeah, and badass things to come with that. I think.
Now, what happened to the Chameleons? Did it just?
Well, like anything, right?
Yeah.
Times, there's, how it's a roller coaster ride with custom
So-
paint, right?
The Chameleons that are out now, are they different?
Yeah, they're more to the modern of the side of the technology, where it's probably been out for a minute, but it's getting better, right?
I'll tell you-
Sprayability is
yeah.
better. And with our line now, you can intermix your effects with our toners and
Okay.
create endless chameleon possibilities.
Yeah. Before we wind this down real quick, I have to say, man, you guys have a chameleon in there. I don't know how it was shot and stuff, but it was red, and it was on a black base, and all you saw was highlights of red and black. It looked almost like a Black Widow setup,
Yep.
Like they shot patterns, but it wasn't. It was just the reflectivity. I was like, what kind of chameleon is that, dude? I've never seen a chameleon
Yeah.
shoot that bright of a red solo with that much clarity of a black showing through it. And I'm like, are they going to launch any more colors like that? Are you going to have a blue like that or orange like that? Pink, a red? I mean, you have the red right now, but I'm like,
and that's
purple would be dope like that too.
that's to be desired, right?
Yeah, I'm just curious because I'm like,
I
dude, I hope
see
they
this
give us
as
that,
look,
dude. That'd be sick.
it ain't something that hasn't been done, right? It's been around forever, right?
Mhm.
But now
I've never
we're
seen
starting
somebody
to-
shoot something
we're
like
starting
that.
to throw it into
Yeah.
our toners.
Not since
And
Muranos, bro.
It's changing,
Muranos were the only ones that actually did something
Yeah.
like that. I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
and that's
I
the
first saw
black to
that.
red, putting
Yeah.
it into something else,
Yeah.
and then you're creating colors now. Now
and
you
I
have
was
the
like,
flexibility
ooh.
with 5 toners. I think, me and Reed sat there in Ohio,
Now, are
and we
you?
banged out, I think it was 125 colors
Wow,
with 5 brand new
really?
colors.
Yeah, I mean
Not released yet?
Not released yet.
Not released yet.
Are they planning
Uh,
to
I
put
mean,
them
well,
out?
we had
You
some
can
showing.
buy the chameleon.
Well, we had some showing
Yeah.
at SEMA. We had
Mhm.
40 on display at
Yeah.
SEMA. And there were some colors there that were like utilizing some of our translucent white.
Okay.
So we have a translucent white. I know a lot of guys that are using, some of the light up paint.
Oh, the Lumalor. Yeah.
So Lumalor, our Celestial White, which is named the Celestial White's a translucent white,
Mhm.
works really well for Lumalor.
Yeah.
Well, the reason for that is because it's translucency, it doesn't have a lot of pigment.
Yeah.
But when we add the chameleon, pearl effect to it, it gives you all kinds of just colors that bounce all over the place. And so that's probably the one color I've had the most demand for since we've launched them,
Mhm.
is the ability to put that color, whether it's the green to purple or the cyan to purple, into that white is just
That white,
disappears. It's
when
crazy.
when we first shot it,
Mhm.
that excited me because I was like, man, whites always either they don't get that without, you know, with the pearls, they get a little yellow, they
Yeah.
get milky sometimes, you know. And when we started, and we're seeing these blue bolts coming out and in, and purples and pinks, and sometimes up to 6 colors in a white, we were like, and now we're working on other things, you know, trying to incorporate it to candy base coats. Man down! Man down!
You okay, bro?
Hey!
Are you right?
Hey, hold on, guys. I gotta help him up.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna.
Oh, damn, bro! You didn't tell me you were over the GBWs. Damn, son. All right, we're good, guys. We're good. Anybody got Mito? I mean,
Mito. Wow, so you guys got some cool things coming out with House of Color, man. I
yeah,
appreciate
it's
that.
a work in progress, man. With the whole FX series is what they are.
And I think we've got some old school stuff trying to come back out that we're hoping launches this year. But
Yeah,
we're definitely trying to go back to some things that are necessary
Okay.
for a lot
Absolutely.
of custom painters to accomplish what they want to do. That we're hopeful.
Let me ask you this. I don't know if you can speak on it or not, though. And I don't even know if it's possible. I know that the formula is out there, but I'm not sure if Murano pearls. I know PPG came out with their freaking line of them, and it's just a, you know, what do they call those? It's relic pearls, not even a Murano.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is that possible to bring up? House of Color had them at one point.
I don't know, but I gotta say one thing. I have a couple jars at home, just so y'all know.
Let me borrow some, bro.
Listen,
I got
Listen,
lucky.
is
I got lucky.
listen. When the three of us are in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna put some work in to go see what we can find. But
Fish scales.
you know, it's a lot of that stuff out there right now.
I'm just saying, bro. I mean, if it's possible to bring those back, as much as I love the new stuff,
I think
some of that old stuff was
That
just
old
so much
stuff,
better,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
I just think
I
it's
remember my
hard
dad
to
had
bring that
a
back right
we
now.
had 2 jars of it, and he says, "Don't drop it." I'm like, I gotta see this in the sun today, and it because he had the rarest of the rare, and it was an actual abalone. I've never seen anybody have an abalone Murano. They've had blues, they've had
Yeah,
reds,
I
they've
had the
golds
blue,
and
I had the white, the silvers, and what was the other? They weren't even the green label.
Oh,
Macron.
Macromer.
Yeah,
Well, that's the original.
I have those.
Yeah, the
you know,
Macromers.
I mean,
Yeah.
and look, there's no shimmer like.
No, nothing, bro. Nothing at all. But that abalone, it would shift like what we have today, but it was like 3 to 4 colors, bro.
Wow.
And I was like, this is the dopest. He's like, don't drop that. I can't get any more.
Right.
I'm like, I'm just looking at it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, if you guys could do that for the community as a whole, everybody would be grateful, and you would sell them like hotcakes. I know it'd get oversaturated because everybody has
Yeah,
fun with
well,
them.
you know what?
But with like anything else, as long as we have that ability,
Right.
like I can speak on a lot of different things, you know, which I won't do that because we're trying to wind down here. But I mean, just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that I think we've got a pretty good relationship with our current marketing team.
Right on.
They're continuing to try to develop new stuff. You know, in terms of how our year looks right now, besides the Lowrider magazine partnership this year, I think we just got the official go ahead on that with Monster Energy.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually working with SNK,
Okay.
Hoppos, Luxor Wire Wheels,
Yep.
obviously Lowrider magazine, to actually put together a 1964 monster hopper. So
Whoa.
yeah,
That's rad.
And it'll be traveling
on the
Oh,
monster
heck yeah,
hopper.
dude.
with the Lowrider tour.
Yep. It's under construction. It's not out
And
yet,
if you
but
guys
it's
see
gonna
that
be awesome.
now,
You know what
you'll
that
see
reminds
them
me
up.
of? That's reminiscent of, remember the Joker card for Reds?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
That's dope. That's dope.
And Munch is painting that one too.
No, sir. Hey, shout out to
Munch
Steve.
and Javi.
Shout out to Steve.
Yeah.
Look, man.
No,
Shout out to
So
Steve.
Steve's gonna do it?
Steve's
Steve's
deep
gonna
into
do
it.
it.
Heck yeah, dude.
You know, and I'd
That's
love to be
dope.
there with you,
Perfect,
helping you out,
dude.
but unfortunately, you know, I gotta work.
You gotta
See, that's what
work.
happens when you go corporate, bro.
Yeah,
I
it's that
know,
corporate.
man.
Yeah, just missing the ties. All
Just
he's
let me
missing.
be.
Actually, he had the tie on last week.
I
No
did.
way.
I did have a
suit
tie
and
on, bro.
Suit and
Really?
tie.
And I'll tell you what, I was the sexiest man on the team. Just saying. Just saying. I mean, I had. All right, I shouldn't say all the tall girls. All the little girls.
They're all tall for you, bro.
They're all tall for me. Honey, I'm joking.
Oh,
Love you.
there we go.
But no, dude, like, yeah, Steve is doing the Bills right now, and you know, we know Steve's gonna knock it out the park.
Oh yeah,
man.
definitely.
You know, and also we actually supported, you know, the Hoppos Acne, the Honda that he just did,
Okay.
you know, and El Valle.
Yeah.
The car here, that Bugs.
Yeah.
57.
The
Shout out to
57.
Bugs, Ephraim Gonzalez,
Man.
Bugs, OG in the area.
Yeah.
Much respect.
That car,
Actually-
that car for the timeline.
Right down the street here. I don't know if you saw the mural, the Hot Wheels mural.
Yeah.
Right on Grand and is it 7th?
Oh, yeah.
You saw
It's
that?
kind of cool. I
Yeah,
was like,
it's,
look at somebody got creative and put the El Valle in a
Who
Hot
busted
Wheels
that
thing.
out? Do you know?
Yeah.
Who's
Hey, he's not here. Who are we talking to?
Yeah.
Who are you
Oh.
talking to?
But he knows, bro. I can't ask anyone else. I can ask you guys.
Yeah.
You're like,
Excuse
hey,
me,
you know.
stranger.
If you guys
You
know
know
who
who
the
did that
mural
car?
with the Hot
Just-
Wheels and the
Just-
57.
Just
from here?
Mhm.
Okay, right on.
Nice.
Shout out to Just. I know-
absolutely, that was pretty
Which
cool
crew
to
is he
see.
in?
He's
He's not a
just
crew, just an artist? Okay,
The
never mind.
Get Fish crew. Oh, I'm sorry. That's back in the day, right?
Very cool.
Right
You
on.
know, but man, we appreciate you guys having us here.
Yeah.
Dude, we
And,
appreciate you guys taking the opportunity. We know that you guys are, busy men.
Yeah, I got kicked out of here yesterday. I got the door slammed on me.
Really?
I feel like right now I just want to walk out.
It hurts, huh?
Yeah, dude, I'm butthurt, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
This is where I put the sad music
It's all his fault.
and cue the sad music.
Yeah, cue the violin.
Dude, and if you haven't been here, bro, you guys gotta come check these dudes out, man. This is a
Very
dope little area. It's very artsy, man.
Yeah, I like the Serape up there, the Serape flag. That's
set
dope.
up.
I like
yeah,
that.
Representing, bro. That's who we
absolutely.
I love
And this is what I'm talking about. Look, no matter where we're at, we always find a way, right?
Yeah.
That artist thing is real, dude. There's a brotherhood, a bond. No matter when was the last time we see each other when we get together?
are. And it feels like you
It's
just
all
seen
love,
somebody.
dude.
You just saw him last week,
Right,
bro.
right.
It's like time didn't even go by.
Right. I mean, I reached out because I was like, wait a minute. I've been in Phoenix twice. I'm like, they're right around the corner.
Yep.
I mean, even Bugs, I didn't know how close. And Bugs like, oh, come over. And then I got to give a shout out to Bugs' wife. Making us some good
Tiffany.
food. Making us some good food.
She made some
Tiffany,
great
thank
food,
you.
bro.
And happy belated birthday, too, because it was her birthday, dude. I gotta say, because she fed me, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Woo, that was awesome.
We've grew up pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, man, it was cool. I came down. We were able to, check out El Valle personally. When we sponsor these cars, we don't see them sometimes. And to be able to be here and see them.
I like the reactions, bro. When
Yeah.
they don't know you even messed with it, and you see people walk by and they're like just speaking on like their opinion of it, and it's held in high regard. Like that's everything, bro.
Right.
Well, it means a lot to organizations like the Phoenix Suns,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? Because part of them obviously going to Bugs to have Bugs do this is Bugs' work. You guys
Mhm.
talked earlier about
Yeah.
reputation, right? And people respect that, and so when Bugs Gonzalez is picked to do this build
Mhm.
by the Phoenix Suns organization, it's because they know he's going to put out good work.
Mhm.
And obviously Bugs is a big supporter of House of Color. He's used it, I think, his whole career.
Yeah.
So he didn't think twice about getting us involved. And of course, yeah, we're going to be all over that. Yeah, what the Phoenix Suns want to build a car? Yeah, absolutely, we're on board. Yeah, the same thing with Monster Energy. I mean, Monster Energy is a huge company, and we had a chance to sit down and talk to their guys from their marketing team, and they're like, look, Gilbert, we've always focused on motorsports, motocross, right?
It makes sense.
That's
right
where
there.
they're at. We've never touched on this culture, and it's interesting to us. We want to get involved in it.
That's a
And,
trip. That's cool
yeah.
though, dude. Because that shows how far the reach of lowriding's come, dude.
Absolutely. Well, their marketing
What
guy.
really
their
got
marketing
me
guy.
with them, though,
What's that?
remember when Ken Block
Yeah.
drifting under that
Oh, yeah,
lowrider?
the
I
hopper.
was sick, dude.
Under the
Yeah.
hopper,
I
yeah.
was sick.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Ken Block. Rest
Yeah,
in
man,
peace,
rest
man.
in
RIP,
peace, bro.
man. Yeah.
I
But,
mean, that was legendary.
that was legendary. But it also, to your point of what it's reached to, some of the guys up in marketing actually have a 1964 Impala.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he was really stoked about doing this all, and he kind of helped push it forward to where it's got today, and I think everyone's going to see this and be pretty excited about it. It's going to look awesome. We know Steve's going to do a great job, and obviously Hoppos is doing some ridiculous stuff with these hydraulics.
Right
It's
on,
going to be
man.
insane. It's going to be an insane Hoppo.
Yeah, man. And Alex is a good dude, man.
Oh, and you got to see these wheels Luxor's coming out with.
Oh,
He's already sent us some artwork on it. The Luxor wheels are going to look ridiculous as well, and this whole build's going to look. It's going to be.
I think there's a pretty good team, well-rounded team. They all have their forte, right?
Yep.
I mean, I can see it in Hoppo's quality, in what he's bringing now with all the CNCing and all that stuff and creating, right? And then you got Steve.
Yep.
And Luxor Wild Wheels is there doing their thing quietly, man. They're coming up and doing their thing, right?
Yeah.
They're bringing some pretty cool things to the table for this build.
That's cool because they're like an OG
Right.
brand, you know, from
Right.
that era. So it's good to see them coming back, man, and like coming hard.
You know, and Lowrider
Yep.
magazine. You know, I mean, without them pushing for doing all this stuff, you know, this wouldn't even be happening, right? Like,
I mean, I would say in relation to that is the way our Scarab is to us as a paint line, and people know House of Color with a Scarab.
Mhm.
Lowrider magazine, it's decades of history. And,
Yep.
And so that name, that brand, is very strong. I think in the community and the culture of lowriding, and it's a brand that everyone recognizes. And so
Yeah.
obviously they've had years to build it up and get it where it is. But I think the support and everything else behind it is it's been a good partnership.
I mean, who don't know the Aztec?
There you go.
Simple as that.
There you go.
Simple as that. Enough
There
said.
you go.
Well said. Mic drop.
Yep.
And on that note, we shall
There it is.
wind this down.
Damn right.
If you guys have hung out with us this long, we totally appreciate you guys' support. Check out these guys' social media. Check us out at spock.co. You know, we are. I think that's about it, bro. I don't got nothing to say, and I really have that
No,
happen.
after all this, right?
I really have that
After all
happen.
this.
You know, I don't got nothing to say. So from over here at Freak Flake, the Freak Flake Studios,
Damn
Spock and
right.
Co. We appreciate you guys. You know, House of Color stopping by.
Yeah.
And
if you guys are looking for it, houseofcolor.com.
yeah,
Check
give
it
them a
out.
follow, click on them,
Yep.
and we'll check you out next time. Till then,
Peace.
peace.
All right.
Right on, man.